ghost from the past and it cuts just like a knife. Hate to feel like this, but when I close my eyes, I can see a ghost from the past and it cuts just like a knife. Hate to feel like this, but it happens all the time. Said you never understand me, don't know who I am. Tell me I'm just like your father, I'm not the one who cares. You disappeared without a trace, you never bothered to explain. You just walked away. All I wanted was an answer, all I needed was to know. Give me a reason, I need a reason. All those messages I left you, all those nights I stayed alone. Give me a reason, 'cause all that I hear is to tell you done. Yeah, you're done. When I close my eyes, I can feel you breathe on my neck. Now I'm only half alive, and I hate that I miss your smile, but it's only half the time. And now I'm up all night, got me checking my phone for the 1,000th time. Told me that you never wanted this to die. You disappeared without a trace, you never bothered to explain. You just walked away. All I wanted was an answer, all I needed was to know. Give me a reason, I need a reason. All those messages I left you, all those nights I stayed alone. Give me a reason, 'cause all that I hear is all I wanted was an answer, all I needed was to know. Give me a reason, I need a reason. All those messages I left you, all those nights I stayed alone. Give me a reason, 'cause I wanna hear the way you call to me when you ever needed help. I never thought you'd be the reason that I'd learn to hate myself. I don't care who you love, I don't have nothing to lose, but I just want to last thing to you. All I wanted was an answer, all I needed was to know. Give me a reason, I need a reason. All those messages I left you, all those nights I spent alone. Give me a reason, 'cause all that I hear is a giant show.
Woo! I love that song. And I'm Kraevin with Late Nights with Kraevin at Rock Rage Radio, and we have Catch Your Breath in the house today in the studio, live and in person. So, guys, tell me who you are and what you do in the band.
My name's Teddy. I play guitar.
And I'm Josh, and I do vocals.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here in person. It's not every day that I get people in the studio. We do a lot of virtual stuff, but one of the bonuses to you guys being here.
Yeah.
So many amazing musicians in Austin. Austin living up to our name, being the live music capital, and you guys are going to be going on tour soon.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the band and your upcoming tour.
We're going to be on the road for a little bit over a month with Until I Wake and Dark Divine. We'll be doing mostly starting off Upper East Coast and then swinging over through Texas and hitting the Midwest and West Coast.
Nice. And so tell us how the band started, because I know a little bit about your story because I've been following you guys for a while. But for those of us who are new to viewing, tell us how the band formed, how you guys got started.
Yeah. Started like many years ago, just as an idea, just as something we wanted to do. Before Catch Your Breath, we were called Inertia, and then our original singer left, and then I found Josh from our now producer Curtis in Oklahoma, and we were just like, try him out, and then sounding great. And I was like, this is what the band should be, and then we rebranded to be Catch Your Breath, and and then we met, and then we've gone through like tons of members throughout the history, and then but now we have a solid lineup now, and I think this is like where it should be.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys just released the video that we just played a little while back. It's your latest single. Do you guys have any more releases planned?
Yes,
we do. Yeah,
we have while we're on the road, we are releasing a brand new track in March. Yeah, March.
I can say though.
Yeah.
No spoilers, new tracks, but the stuff that's on your Spotify is amazing. I listen to it all the time, and we'll be playing Dial Tone on the Rock Rage Radio morning show, Morning Walk of Shame with Kraevin. Every morning this week, I'm going to be playing that song just because I can't just play it one time. And then you guys will be the featured artist on Thursday.
Well, thank you so much. Oh man, we appreciate that love.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I can do to support great music and great bands, and of course, I'm a personal fan, so getting you guys on here was like really exciting for me, just to be able to support you guys.
Thank you.
So, anyway, as we segue into stuff, tour. Have you guys? I know a little bit we talked about. What has been your touring experience so far with the bands?
We've been on one tour.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been
on one tour.
We went out with Tala and Attila for 18 days.
Well, if you're gonna do a tour, that's the one to do, right?
It's funny how that happened, because Chris happens to be good friends with our producer Curtis, and they formed a team, and we kind of met Chris through that and developed like a really good friendship with him. And then the Attila guys came in, and there was a tour spot open, and we were like, hey, that would be a good spot for Catch Your Breath. And they were just like, yeah. We were like, yeah, all right. So it was really fun. I'm super, I feel like really fortunate that we got to go out with the guys in Attila, because they're actually super nice guys. But the surprise band for us was like Tala.
Yeah.
We made really good friends with Tala. Everyone in that band was awesome, and they welcomed us with open arms, and it was super easy and seamless. Thanks to we worked hard, don't get me wrong, but those guys definitely helped us out a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you most looking forward to on this next run?
Playing the shows.
Playing shows for me is like playing new spots we've never played or traveled in.
We had to miss out on Florida on the last tour because of the hurricane and everything that happened.
Yeah.
So we're actually getting to hit We're getting to hit Florida, and we got a ton of friends down there in Florida that we're super looking forward to seeing. But we got friends from all over, fans from all over, and we're just excited to get our music in front of people and play shows.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
I have yet to see you guys live, so
I can't wait. That.
I know, I can't wait. We come back from tour 3 days before you guys play here in Austin, so
nice.
I'm literally gonna be recovering for
we have
and then showing up at Cattle probably like half alive.
Yeah. We have 3 dates, I think, or 4 dates in Texas, actually. We're going Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, and then El Paso.
So what you're
So it's
saying is
5
that
days.
I could stalk you across Texas.
Yeah,
if I really
definitely.
wanted to.
Anyone can.
Okay. Follow us around. Start a
It's a
caravan.
big state, but it's totally worth it. No, I do that sometimes for my friends especially my East Coast friends, whenever they're in Texas. You don't get to hang out very much unless you're either on tour together or you happen to be off when they're on and they come through your state. And I've done that before. I've literally had friends that played 3 or 4 cities in Texas, and I just hopped in my car and just
Well,
followed them
that's
around.
kind of the thing, isn't it? It's like when you're on tour, you hit cities where your friends are, but you never really have time other than maybe an hour after you play your set to be like, hey, what's up? It's so nice to see you. Gotta pack our gear up and go. So it's like, if you follow your friends around, that's probably the best way to actually get to hang out with them.
Yep.
Is follow them around from city to city and hang out at their bus, or if they do good enough, they get hotel rooms.
Yeah.
But that's not everybody's that fortunate.
Exactly. So everybody support local musicians, and if they're in your state more than once, stalk them. It's so worth it.
Please stalk us.
Yes,
We won't care.
Follow
We don't
them
care.
around. Go to all
Love
the
it.
shows. Why settle for one when you can do 4?
We're stuck in a 16-passenger van with each other for 35 days. We're fine with hanging out with friends every now and then.
Yeah.
So here's the struggle when you're on tour. How do you guys shower?
We're about to
What is
figure
your
that
strategy?
out.
What is your
What-
strategy?
Well,
So like the Attila tour,
the Attila tour, we just spoiled the fuck out of
yeah,
ourselves.
we did.
we just splurged.
Hotels every
Hotels
night,
every
whatever we
night,
wanted
whatever.
to eat. You
It
know?
was just very like free range. Just like, what do you want? That put on the card.
Yeah,
put
put it
on
on
the
the
card.
band
Everything's
card.
on the card. It's like Oprah. But no, for this one though, we had to be extremely like.
Yeah, we're really cutting our teeth on this one.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the tour we actually like are gonna cut our teeth on because it's 35 days. We don't have like we were fortunate enough that when we were independent, we got on Octane, and like as a fellow musician, like getting on Octane and being independent.
Yeah, that's
It's like-
pretty much like winning the lottery.
Yeah, and that's what people like. Yeah, you get a whole bunch of money from that, but you put it back in your band so that your band ends up where Catch Your Breath is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we did, but we had a little bit of money left over, and it was just enough to like spoil ourselves on tour. So we have no idea what it's like.
Yeah.
Like I won't lie, we
No.
spoiled ourselves. We were very
Yeah.
fortunate.
I remember the last day of the show, the last day of the tour, we just like, you know what? It's the last day of our first tour. Let's just like splurge a little bit more than we were. So we had this like fancy hotel like right next to the venue we were playing at, and it was like ended up being like $300 for that night.
And then we went to Six Flags over Texas.
And then we went to
the next
Six
day,
Flags the next
over
day.
Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We went with Tala.
We went to Tala. That was fun.
Honestly, I would do that again, even if even if it meant like we were gonna come back in the negative. It was so fun.
It was really fun going to Six Flags.
It was
But-
like the best way to end that tour. Like,
Yeah. It was like our first tour, like, woo, we did it. And then this tour is like, oof, we're broke as fuck.
yeah.
So it's like super tough. But
we
we'll
have to
figure
be a real band on
yeah,
this tour.
we'll figure something out.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Yeah, I have a gym membership, and so usually it's like we try and park
Goals, yeah.
anywhere. We do anytime,
Anytime Fitness, yeah.
which they lie. They say they're everywhere. They're not anywhere in New York or Jersey. So yeah, I think we went like 2 or 3 days without showers while we were out there on one tour because we're like,
Man.
there's no anytime anywhere.
Was it summer?
It was like August, September. So it wasn't like terrible, but
It's still
I mean,
hot.
when you're sweating
Oh,
on stage and it's like you get off and you're like, yeah.
The worst
so-
thing is the feet, man.
Yeah.
Because like the first thing everyone wants to do when they get back in the van is kick off their shoes. We're wearing Converse and like platform boots and stuff, and like ankle boots that are all leather. Like those feet sweat, and you want to get them off. And like I think I'm gonna make a new rule. Like, hey man, you take your shoes off, take them to the trailer. Like put your flip flops on, walk your shoes to the trailer, and put them in the trailer. Because like the worst is like you would think that it would be like the dirty underwear and sweaty shirts.
Yeah.
It's the socks, man.
Yeah.
It's the sock. You open up the door from like being in the venue for like an hour, and you go back in the van because you're like, oh, I left my in-ears in there. I'm gonna go grab my in-ears, and you almost throw up opening up the van door because it just smells like musty feet, and you're just like,
Yeah.
and you look at your calendar and you're like, no, we got 11 more days. Great. So like, that's probably one of the worst parts, but like, it's not that bad because like you ride in your van for a few hours and you're usually sleeping, and then you show up to the venue, you put your stuff up, and you got time to chill.
Yeah.
Just there's nobody there.
Yeah.
So if you don't have like Wi-Fi or a laptop or like your phone charged, which seems to be like an epidemic on tour, like nobody's phone is ever charged.
I know. It's insane.
Like but those are like really the only pains that you deal with. Other than that, it's like super fun, super seamless. You get to hang out with everybody, meet bands. I grew up being an Attila fan, so like my first tour being with Attila was like pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are pretty fortunate. Like we have a tour bus now. We just got it a year ago, and so, but yeah, the phone charger thing it's crazy. Like we lose them on the bus, and it's like, is this one yours? Is who has a charger? And
Where's
it's
the
like,
block?
And then it's like, oh my god, it's like it's really a thing. And thankfully, nobody so far has smelly feet
Oh,
like at all.
I think all
thank
of us have
God.
smelly feet.
Thank God. My 7-year-old though, he'll like kick his shoes off in the car after school, and it's like I have to roll the windows down. I'm like, kid, you cannot take those shoes off in the car. I'm gonna get in an accident. This is gonna be bad. It's so awful.
You can't do that at night in New York because it's too cold.
Yeah, no, it'd be worth it. You would have to. You would have to. I would rather risk hypothermia than my son's
I'm gonna go get a duvet.
smelly shoes.
For
Like
that reason.
it is awful. It is so bad. Like I can't even tell you like how bad it is. It will literally just like it's like, you know, a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell him out. But
smell.
our bass player Keenan, he's pretty. He's smelly. He's a smelly guy. He smells really good, and then he gets on stage and sweats and comes off, and you're like, Jesus, like, oh my God, like you smell like straight up sweat, dude. I don't know what it is.
I know.
It's so bad.
Yeah, and that's what's funny is like people, sometimes girls, you know, like the fan girls and whatever, like, oh, you're so lucky, you get to be on tour with all these hot musicians. I'm like, yeah, you get over it really quick when you're sweaty and gross and you're like climbing.
He gets gas one time and I'm like over it.
Yeah, it's like, no.
McDonald's makes me gassy.
Yeah,
the whole
no.
day you're just like, oh my God.
Or it's like someone snores so loud, nobody wants to be in the room with them.
Yeah, that's our drummer.
Yeah.
That's our drummer. O'Neill snores. I love you, O'Neill. You snore so loud, dude.
So loud.
Yeah, for us it was our former guitarist, Chris. Love you.
Love you so much.
Love you so much. But yeah, he'd be the first to tell you, like, if we're gonna be in a hotel, I need my room because I snore. And we're like, we'll just kill you in your sleep.
we'll just kill
It's
you.
fine. And so like the first tour we did with him, we had 2 rooms for the first time because there was like 8 of us on tour together. Like I had a merch person, I had a tour manager, we had like
you guys
all
had
this
the
stuff.
yeah.
And so we had all these people. So and it was cool because it was like 4 girls and 4 guys. So we're like dudes in one room, girls in the other room, and the guys were over here like texting me like, can we come over to your room? I'm like, no. And they're like, can we please just sleep on your floor? I'm like, no. And they're like, Chris is snoring so loud.
Just put a t-shirt on and let us sleep on the floor.
So then the next night they were like, we're paying for our own room, and they all like everybody goes over that room, and then I was in, and the rest of us who like didn't care, right? It was like our bassist at the time and Chris and then me and then our videographer and photographer Amber. We're all in one room, and I told my bassist, I was like, by the way, you're on snoring duty. So when it was like, you are to make sure he stays on his side at all times. As long as he's on his side, he won't snore.
Yeah.
And so I was like, really? Okay, that shouldn't be hard. Yeah, the guy didn't sleep all night.
Oh, poor guy.
But he doesn't drive. So I'm like, the rest of us are taking shifts driving. So I'm like, no offense, you can sleep in the van.
Yeah.
When he's awake and you don't have to deal with the snoring. But the rest of us, we need sleep. So you get to stay awake all night.
If you don't drive, you have to make sacrifices.
You do. Sacrifices. Yes. So it's a real thing.
Everybody drives. Well, I don't know, except Keenan and his Jersey driving.
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
Keenan's going to drive. We're just taking the 4 of us, just the band. We're going 35 days. No merch person, no light person, no sound person, and we're just gonna raw. No tour manager. We're just raw dogging the whole tour.
That's awesome.
And we hope that it goes well.
You'll be fine. That's what we done our last tour, and that's how we're doing our next one too.
Yeah, and I think it's like 250 cap rooms, so it's like, you know, we don't have to deal with like a team full of sound guys. It's gonna be like one dude that we have to go to and be like, hey, where do we put our stuff? And he's like, hey, just that corner. You know, and it's like, oh, we did our tour managing duty today.
Do you guys play with IEMs? I'm assuming.
Yes.
You play with backing tracks and all that too, right?
We like got a whole rig system and
Yeah, same with us. So we're like, hey, as long as we sound good to ourselves, like the rest of you, you're stuck with.
Yeah, just take the vocals off the monitors and we're good.
Yeah, we're just like, we're fine. Just we've set our thing up, and then everyone's like, oh, we can hear this. Like, oh yeah, we sounded great on stage.
This will also be our first tour using a completely wireless rig. Like we're going completely wireless mics, guitars, everything is going to be wireless.
Nice.
Is it like way better?
It is because I don't know because I haven't seen y'all live, but just from what I'm seeing from like your music video and stuff, like we are very high energy. Like even me being a girl, like we jump around a lot. We jump off stage. We run around like crazy people. And my last guitarist, he was never wireless. He was always plugged in. And I can't tell you how many times I've stepped on, almost tripped on, like had issues with his guitar cable.
Yeah.
And then there was this last tour we did, my bassist, he's usually wireless, but there was something happened on the last tour and like his pack broke and he didn't have a chance to get it repaired, or it wasn't back from being repaired before we went on tour again. So he was also wired. At one point in the stage, like they had gotten like tangled up. So they had crisscrossed so many times that they go to split. They're like, oh.
Yeah, I was rocking like a 50-foot mic cable. I think I was the only one who was wired in.
No. So we were all wired in, except our bass player Keenan.
That's right.
His wireless system was the only one that ended up working the entire tour. My wireless system and our fill-in guitarist player that we brought, our Coda, both of our wireless systems like stopped working for some reason. So we had to like stop at Guitar Center and buy like 30-foot cables, and we all plugged in for the rest of the entire tour, and it just sucked
because they weren't made by Sennheiser. Sennheiser for all your wireless needs.
but so it was after that tour, like I vowed, like, you know what, I can't deal with this. We're gonna spend the money and buy everything wireless.
We had to make the smart decision and switch to Sennheiser for all your wireless needs.
But for real, it was pricey, but like worth it because.
Yeah. I haven't used Sennheiser for wireless. I've used their mics before, but we have an endorsement with Cat Audio, so we've been using all of Cat Audio stuff. But the one good thing about it is, like, I have a guy I can call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything would ever go down, I literally pick up my phone and be like, "Hey, yo, this happened with the."
That's been the coolest part is the endorsements and stuff.
Yeah.
Like PRS just came through and endorsed Teddy. It's like here's two brand new PRS guitars, bro.
Yeah.
We got them sitting at the house getting ready to go on tour.
So fancy. Have you named them yet?
No, I haven't even played them. It's been so we are getting ready for a tour.
You gotta name one Tatiana.
We were Tatiana. Yeah. So we just got back from the studio finishing our record on the 1st, which was like 5 days ago or so, 4 days ago. And then the next day, spent all day redoing the entire our rack system.
Next 2 days.
Second day, finishing up because we had to buy some more cables. The third day, still finishing up. And so it's like we have no time to do anything. We had to get the rig ready, get the rack ready. Have to adjust like our backtracks and our click track and make sure everything's routed correctly. And it's like day 4 and it's still not done. Like after this, I had to go back home to create like the project file and then make sure all the routing is done correctly and make sure our in-ears are working and make sure everything's ready for practice tomorrow.
All that was made seamless by Sam. I'm just kidding.
It was just a pain in the ass. So I haven't done anything. Just like it's been like constant like work since we got back from the studio. It's just like it's always something else that we have to do. And it's just like
I've been playing a lot of video games. Just gonna check does it work?
Oh yeah, I give Josh the mic. Hey, test this out and while
sing the song a little bit.
Like it's just sing. Okay. Get just the levels, make sure it's all like perfect, and it's a lot, but after like the next couple of days, it should be like seamless. Of like now I can play my new guitars that I just got.
And we start rehearsals tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
Nice. Yeah, I think we start Tuesday. I think.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and we're gonna be the whole first day of rehearsal. I love my boys, but this is how it always works. Like you guys experienced, right? It's like, oh yeah, the first hour we're gonna dial in our in-ears and then we're gonna practice. I'll be
No, you're
surprised if we practice at all
You're not practicing
on Tuesday, because you know how it is. Like something always comes up, and it's like, oh, you got to do this thing, and you got to do that thing, or oh, you need this, or oh, this cable's not working now, you need a new one, and you know,
Yeah.
Guitar Center's closed.
The famous the rig was working before we left the house. What's going on?
Oh, dude, yeah. So
Why isn't the quad working?
So, yeah, no. So, true story. We were on the Attila tour. We played Austin, and I think I used the laptop that we use for our system, our live sound, to adjust something or something. I did something on the laptop, and then before we played, so we go up and we play and we start playing. Nothing's working. Like the sound, like the click and the in-ears, everything is just not routing correctly. And so we play 2 songs without like a click track in our ears, or the drummer is just freeballing it. And so I'm like there trying to figure out like what happened. So what happened was, because I opened up the laptop and got on it, it like reset all the inputs and outputs and all the routing. So when I plugged in our digital mixer, because we use the Behringer digital mixer, it like didn't register. It didn't reset back to the way it was. So I had to manually. All our tracks need to be routed back to like output 1, output 2, output 3, and like all this shit. It's like while I'm playing, in the middle of playing our second song, I'm like playing, turn around real quick, play, turn around real quick, play. And then it's like, all right, it's done.
Drink some White Claw.
Drink some White Claw. So that does happen. That is a real thing. But now I know never to use a laptop before we go on stage. It's just, luckily, like I'm like audio savvy with that type of stuff, and I knew like what to do.
Yeah.
But doing that while I'm trying to play in the middle of the set is just like, damn.
Yeah, that's gotta be so rough. And you know, it's funny. It's like a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh yeah, you're rock stars. You get on stage, and that's like 2%.
Yeah, no.
2% of what we do. It's like, you know, you're a mixing engineer, and you're like, you know, you're down in the, you know, like you have tools. Like we're fixing the tour bus, and you know, we're figuring like the last tour we were on, the guys are on the roof of the tour bus fixing the AC because it was like leaking, like just pouring water in the thing. And so every time, you know, we'd stop somewhere, either Alex or Chris would be on the roof, and then, oh yeah, they didn't get it in that like window that we had of gassing up or whatever. So it's like, okay, I think I might know what to check next. And then like over a period of like 2 days, every between all these stops, it's like, I finally got it, guys. And then we're like, no, okay, you know.
Yeah, you have to have like you have to what is it? Wear multiple hats, like do multiple things. Like you're a merch inventory person, you're a sound engineer, you're a fucking computer technician. Like I was messing with our laptop like the other day, and like the Wi-Fi chip like was not working. Like the Wi-Fi disappeared. It's like I need the Wi-Fi on, so I just figured out like, oh, I just need to uninstall the driver, roll it back, and just I got to do tech shit. Because then we need a laptop to work. So like, you definitely.
I don't know what he's talking about. I just sing the songs.
Yeah.
I'm pampered.
No, for real though. You do wear multiple hats. So you do multiple things. You're not just a musician. You're even nowadays, you're a TikToker. You're an entertainer. You're a content creator. You gotta do so many things now just to like.
That like rolls into so many things, like people being mad at falling in reverse, canceling like a few shows because their laptop went down. It's like, yeah, because if we played a lot of modern music has a lot of production in it.
Yeah.
And if your laptop's not working, you can't play that production. So there's just going to be a lot of like empty noise, being played, and the fans are going to be like, oh, well, this is like really terrible. Like, this sounds like the skeleton of a song with like Ronnie singing over it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why they canceled a few dates. It's because like all of their backtracks, everything they have is on this computer, and it just completely crashed on them. So they can't. They have nothing for backtracks. They have no click track for their drummer. They have no production that's going to be played over the speakers. It's just going to be Ronnie. There's like some guitars that hopefully sound decent being plugged through the house because now their laptop doesn't work. And it's just like it brings out like a whole bunch of problems, and so that's why they were just like, we got to cancel a few days until we get the laptop replaced, and then redo all of our backtracks and get all of it plugged back in. Yeah, and then we can play a show again.
And luckily, we have like a backup system just in case.
Yeah, we do too.
But it's just like the iPhone.
But it's like we have to learn from all these other bands that we see. It's like, oh, okay, how do we avoid that?
Yeah, the Falling in Reverse thing was actually like one of the deciding points for us being like, hey, we're gonna get an extra quad Cortex and like make sure that we have everything that we need just in case something goes wrong. Like we even have my laptop is like a backup to the laptop that we use for the backtracks.
Okay.
So like we even have a backup laptop just in case that laptop just decides to crap out on us one day.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be in that situation. So like you guys might not understand, Falling in Reverse can't afford to be like, we're not going to play a week of shows we had planned. Catch your breath when we're out on the road. We don't have that money. we have to. We gotta like pick up shows on our day off. Like it's not like that for us. So like we can't afford to have a day where like something goes wrong and we can't play the show. Like not only are we losing out on revenue that we absolutely have to have because we're a baby band, not because the scene is dead or anything like that. But we're a baby band. We just got recognized, A whole lot of people don't even know we're going on tour. Much less going to show up to it. And we just we're not prepared for something like that.
Yeah,
so like
we can't afford
out.
Same. Yeah, we have backup plans for backup plans because even if it's like, say, for example, your backing tracks go out or your laptop takes a dump. We had members on our last tour get food poisoning.
Yeah,
and then our drummer is like, our drummer is laid up in the tour bus one day, or first, no, it hit our bassist first. So he's laid up in the tour bus one day, and then the next day the drummer dropped out. So we've literally played shows without a drummer. We've played backing tracks. We played with our bassist on backing tracks. We've done acoustic sets. We have done so many different configurations while on the road because shit happens.
I mean, years ago, I won't say the artist's name, but he is a very canceled person in this genre now. He was a very, very good singer, really good singer. And I saw a set where he walked up to like his mixing board and pressed play on a laptop, and he had no band with him, and it was just him singing. You might know who I'm talking about. This guy was like very prevalent for like drugs and being a very shady person for a long time.
Okay.
And he literally had no band with him. He would just walk up to his laptop, press play. He would like talk to the crowd like, "Oh, this song is about this person," know what I'm saying? And, like walk up to the computer and like press play and sing his songs. And it was like, as a fan, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because it still sounded good. Mm-hmm. But also as a fan, I wish the band was there.
Yeah.
But I still got to see the singer who was like, he had a revolving door bandmates anyways. So like you never knew who was playing what. So I was there for him, but it would have been cool to see the band play, like a band play with him.
Yeah.
Because he never. Just don't be a crappy person, all right? Especially in this industry.
Yes. And that's the thing too, is like, the industry has really changed. A lot of people see the movie like The Dirt and Bohemian Rhapsody and Rockstar, all these great movies about the music industry. But when being in a band and being on tour. Mm-hmm. But it's funny, a lot of the musicians that I talk to, unless they were like around during the Motley Crue days, like the industry's really not even like that anymore. If you're a douchey person or you're on drugs and partying too much, like, nope, there's not really a tolerance for that anymore.
Yeah. That's a conversation that I have a lot. And it's because I think like the stars are in punk rock. Okay. So like, I'm not talking about punk, the actual music. I'm talking about punk, the movement behind music. So like, I would say the new punk wave now is like trap rap, like that new hip hop, the screamo hip hop, like Scarlord and stuff like that. that's to me is the new punk movement, and those guys kind of act like 80s hair metal superstars, and that's because in the 80s hair metal was like the punk movement, was like the anti, like what everybody wanted you to do, or the outcasts kind of movement, and that can only last for so long before it becomes cringy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's until that generation becomes parents and have kids, and then their kids are like, you know, you're not this, mom, like you literally just took Metamucil and like a multivitamin and like you call me Bubba all the time, like you're not like hardcore. So like it changes, you know.
Yeah.
So it went from like hair metal to like grunge, and then it went to like rap, and then it went to the metalcore scene, right? And now it's in like trap rap. That's like the punk movement has moved with generations, and it always changes, and a lot of times it ends up looping back around. And I think like someone like Jelly Roll is a good example. We were talking about him earlier.
Mhm.
He is modern rockabilly.
Oh yeah.
And rockabilly, believe it or not, when our grandparents were growing up, that was the punk movement, man. They were showing their ankles and wrists and stuff, and like, you know, smoking cigarettes behind the school. It's terrible shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, they were rebels.
But like, you know, the times change, the punk movement changes, and you know, new fads come and go. And I think that's kind of the way we have to look at it. And that's why like it's not cool to be a rock star in rock and roll anymore.
Yeah.
Is because like it's not the attitude we're allowed to carry around anymore. We can't go trash a hotel room and the label is going to pay for that shit. The label your band doesn't make that much money.
I know, right?
We don't, like, you guys make enough money to pay your bills and be comfortable. But if you have to pay to remodel a hotel room, that's like half your tour salary, or like, if not your whole salary for that tour, and you come back home with nothing.
Yep.
So like Post Malone, sure, he can, you know, drive a Ferrari off of a 10-story parking garage and, you know, hit a Dunkin' Donuts and be just fine. You know, his label will be like, oh, Posty's just having fun again.
Yeah.
But like that's because like that's where like the trendy movement is. It's where all, for a lack of better words, it's where all the money in the music industry is. And don't get me wrong, rock is still doing great. We still do great. We have enough money to pay our bills and not worry about anything. But if you're a new band or even veteran bands, they got to come back home and work jobs, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with like us not selling records anymore.
Yeah.
We're not selling physical copies. Nobody buys physical, really hardly anything anymore. Everything is digitalized. We don't get paid enough for streams, but I don't think the streaming services get paid enough to pay us more for the streams.
Yeah.
So there's a really big gray area right there where like, no, the genre is not dead. The music is doing great, but the artists are like starting to suffer a little bit.
Yep. That's true. And it's because, you know, like I was talking to somebody just the other day, it's like, you know, we're artists and we're musicians, but really we're retailers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a bulk of our money, it comes from selling our merch.
If not all of it.
If not all of it. So basically our music is just the advertising for our merchandise.
Yeah, and the catch-22 to that is if you don't have money to buy merch before you go on tour,
yep,
you can't sell merch on tour, or you have to do a deal with a merch company where they tack 20%, you know, at the end of it. And cool, you had merch to sell, but now 20% of the profits, which was only at the end of the tour, you know, 15 grand, and they take 20% of that 15 grand, and now you got to split up $11,000 between 8 people that were on tour, and then you all go home with like barely anything.
It doesn't like include like your team, like your manager, business manager, and social media manager, accountant, like
booking agent.
Booking agent takes your guarantees, so they don't touch. You shouldn't touch your merch sales.
I don't think anybody should touch merch sales. If you're touching band merch sales,
venues, and venues and promoters. And stuff.
Promoters
leave it
and
alone.
venues. You guys make it
all small percentages, but they all add up at the end of the day. So it's very tough.
And that's where they get you. Is they're like, oh, I only take 5%, you know, but there's like 5 people who take
Take
5 to
5%.
10%.
15%.
You know, and then and then your actual band manager is like, well, you know, my deal's either the standard is like 10 to 15% somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Some of them, if they're really good, will extend to 20%. But I mean, that's like crazy management. You know, like they're like, I got you a gig with Soundgarden. Like, how'd you do that? Chris Cornell passed away years ago. It's happening.
You're playing with his hologram.
Yeah, you're playing with Chris Cornell's hologram, like that, but like that stuff adds up to where like the band at the end of the tour has a quarter of their earnings to split between everybody, including the guys that aren't cut into percentages that you pay in bulk. Like a lot of like we were fortunate and paid our last tour manager. I believe we just paid him a bulk price.
Yeah, we just paid him like,
and it wasn't a
flat
percentage,
fee.
which was great because sometimes bulk prices end up working out better than the percentage. But
Yeah.
then other times, if you're on small tours, that percentage might be better. You know, especially if they're like, oh, I only take 5%, but that's another 5%. You know, now you're down to 20%.
Yeah.
And it's all before taxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, go to the shows. Just go to the shows. You don't have to buy anything. I mean,
Yes, you
we
do.
would
Buy
love
a
that.
shirt.
No, buy shirts.
Buy shirts.
Buy more.
I lied.
shirts.
Buy a shirt.
Go to the shows.
Buy shirts.
Stalk across the country. Buy shirts. And I'm going to read the comments because it looks like we've got a lot of comments on here. Let me see what people are saying.
Okay.
All right. We have, Harley Rock says, "Aye, these guys are dope."
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yes. She says she got to interview you guys. You guys were in Houston, I'm assuming? Maybe?
Wait, no, we at the first session at Teddy Swims.
Yeah. When we were at Teddy Swim
Yeah,
Studio.
for sure.
Nice. Hi, Harley. And then Catherine Hardy says, "Great interview. Good to see you guys in a friendly chat and get to know more about you." Yes, we are going to get down and dirty with these boys. Just wait. Spencer Hart says, "Teddy, tell them how dial tone is about me."
They said that?
Oh,
That's crazy.
You stop.
We love them. But it's true.
Love you boys, though, for real.
For sure. That's funny. I want to text someone.
Christopher Morris, "I hope y'all play the Diamond Ballroom in OKC sometime soon."
We would love to.
That's my cousin, I believe.
Nice.
And they said, Christopher Morris, "Can't wait to see y'all at the Zoo Amphitheater."
Can't wait to see you there, dude. It's gonna be a good time. Come find me.
Come find Catch Your Breath while they're on tour.
Yes.
Maybe
shirt.
kind of difficult because
Buy
it's
shirt.
like
Buy
a
shirt.
festival atmosphere and it's chaos.
Go to their merch table
Buy a shirt,
and buy a shirt
please.
and a poster and,
Everything.
everything.
Buy everything you
A
can.
date with Teddy. I was telling a friend the other day, I was like, you should just auction yourself off. Like 250. And he's like, I need like because he wants to go to NAMM, and we were talking about expenses, because I book like a block of rooms, and then because some musicians want to be able to go, but the hotels are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so I offer like a flat rate for people who want to come and they want to stay at the Hilton, like right there at NAMM. And then I tell all my musician friends, I'm like, hey, it's only $250. You're bunking in with me and one of my bandmates or whatever, and we're kind of like the outrays of the people. We had like a group of like 13 or 14 last time. It was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody's from like Austin and Houston. It was a good time. And so he wants to go this year. He's like, I just need to figure out a way to make like $500 so I can afford like my plane ticket and the hotel room. And I'm like, it's only $500, dude. Just like auction yourself off on a date. Like, you're single, like $250.
Start auctioning.
$10 to get him to take off his shirt.
Let's go.
There you go. Do an online striptease.
Hey, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. All right, he works out a lot.
$25.
He only eats chicken.
Chicken.
He'll take off a sock for $10.
No, God, no, not the sock.
Leave
Not
the
the
shoes on.
You don't want the shoes to come off.
Leave the shoes on. Everything else comes off.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh God. I hope he's not listening. He's gonna hit me with his bass.
That's But
He'll probably just take his shoes off. That would be
Yeah, he'll probably just take his shoes off and lock the doors.
You're like, here you go.
No!
Yeah. Yeah, if I act repulsed, my son will literally take his shoes and socks off and stick his feet in my face. And I literally am like, Yeah, you wouldn't think a 7-year-old would have that much power, but
Your bones are still
my
really thin,
God.
kid. Don't play this game with me.
Awful, awful, awful. So, part of the late nights with Kraevin is, like some of them said, is getting to know you guys, chatting about music and everything else. And so we're going to segue into the everything else by how old were you guys the first time you had sex?
I don't want to answer it. Well, it's a bad answer, guys.
Is it bad?
It's
Is it?
so bad.
No,
No,
how's it bad?
Because it was young.
I don't think that matters. I think it's bad if the person you did it with.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, we were the same age.
Oh,
Jesus.
Okay.
As long as we're not opening up some kind of childhood trauma, then,
I was
no one judges.
13.
Oh, that's not terrible.
That's not the worst.
No.
No.
No, it's not.
I think for me it was
29.
20.
No, I'm just kidding.
no 28.
He's like, I'm
No,
still a
it's-
virgin.
28.
I'm
stupid.
still a virgin.
Yeah.
Oh, then he really is going to go for big money auctioning.
No. Oh, I wish.
Oh my God.
No, it was a 20, I think.
No, you weren't. You're like 19.
Was it 19 or 20?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. How did
Because
you get
I know the person you did.
19? Was it 19? No.
Yeah, it was 19.
20. It has to be 20 because my 21st birthday is when I bought my first legal bottle, and I got alcohol poisoning pretty much.
Sounds right.
I chugged a bottle of Jaeger, the medium-sized one.
That was 19. Because
It was
our friend,
yeah, it was 19 or 20. One of those two.
she was very nice with you.
Very nice.
Very nice lady.
Very nice lady.
Thank you, very nice
Sadie
lady.
doesn't remember.
For
made a man out of
deflowering our
He
friend.
made a man out of
Wait.
a boy.
Spencer says Teddy doesn't remember because he's old. I mean, it runs in the family.
How old are you? You don't look that old.
I just turned 30.
Oh, yeah, you're not old.
I'm old.
Not at all.
I'm not
I
old.
just turned 21.
You don't look 21.
I'm not.
I look 21. We're regular 21.
Yeah, I'm not 21.
But
No, it took forever
That's a
for
fun
this to
question.
happen.
So, have either of you ever had a threesome? Or it's your rock stars, right?
I actually haven't.
Yes, you have. In Vegas.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a threesome.
That was
In case
a
we
threesome.
need.
I guess that
How many
was.
people were there?
Yeah.
Mine was
1, 2,
Awkward.
I thought you never had one. Oh no, you did.
No, it was
I remember.
super
I remember.
awkward,
Yeah, you
too.
told me you're like, I don't like this.
the get him to the Greek line literally I used that line jokingly and it worked, and I will forever commend myself for that. It'll
I
never
know that
happen
story.
again as long as I live. But I don't. That ended up being super awkward though.
You're fun.
I was way too
I
drunk. for
like
that.
this question.
All right. Do you guys like anal?
What do you like? Like being
Anal.
like pegged or
Yes, either being pegged, giving or receiving. No judgment. This is
Giving. Yes.
Some people enjoy being pegged.
The receiving no. PTSD.
PTSD.
I get
Spencer.
I get why a lot of you say no now.
Spencer's like, what did you do in Vegas? And why don't I know about it? I thought I told you. Sorry. Now, Josh, now I gotta explain it to Spencer. But
You don't have to explain anything.
You
but it's
technically
Spencer though.
don't, but it makes it way more fun.
They deserve the no.
You can't handle the truth.
Up close and personal.
That's funny.
What about you?
Huh?
How was yours? Yours was fun. Yeah.
Oh, the anal question.
Oh wait, I was still on the threesome.
Yeah, no, I've never done anything with it. Yeah, surprisingly, huh? Never. I'm
In
not,
today's day
I
and
guess I'm
age,
not that
everyone's
much
a
of a-
freak.
yeah, I'm
Jeez.
just not that much of a rock star, I guess.
Maybe he just doesn't know how to ask. Am I right? Am I right?
Well, you don't know,
Maybe
you don't-
everybody comment. What do you think? Please let us know.
You
It's
can't
always
just go-
so much fun, and ask your own questions too.
You can't just go straight for the booty. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, some people do.
Some people do, but that's selfish.
Yeah, but they,
It
They
is
ask.
selfish.
they ask anyway.
It's like, can I just go straight to it? Like, yeah, sure. I don't want anything out of this.
Yeah, it's funny though too because, especially being a girl, when guys are trying to, get anal, it's like they brag and brag about how big it is, but as soon as they want to put it in your ass, it's like, oh, but honey, it's not that big. It's like it's not that big. But wait, I thought you were just like so big.
Barely bigger than a
But
thistle,
it's
babe.
like,
What
it's
the
not
hell?
that big, babe. It's not that big. Really? So is that what you want me to tell my girlfriends when they ask me how it was?
No,
with you?
men will say whatever they need to get
So-
whatever they want.
This is true.
Won't
This is
you?
true.
Won't you?
Yes.
Don't lie to yourself.
Very true.
So Christopher says, "Is there a way to purchase VIP for the Godsmack show?"
He's family, dude. Just come find me.
Yeah. Well, we don't sell tickets. You got to go to like their website.
Yeah, go to
the
the.
zoo and the Cat Fest.
I have ran out of guest lists because
Yeah.
there's like 40 people
There's
that I'm
so many-
taking to
there's so
that.
many
I think
people.
I brought too many.
Yeah.
But buy your ticket like normal price, and then come find me. I will be somewhere near our merch table or backstage. I will be walking up front to like check out the crowd and watch the other bands. So just come find me, and I'll get you in. You'll be fine. And if they say anything, I'll just be like, "You're talking to a charting artist." Shut your mouth.
That's funny.
We always
Just
joke
be like,
about
I'm
that.
sorry, I couldn't hear you. All I hear is a dial tone.
I can't hear you over these charts. No, wait, I'm totally joking.
Yeah.
We use that joke all the
That's-
time.
Dude,
'cause, like,
all the time.
we charted, but it like
so
so it's like cool. We're signed to a label and stuff, so you know how that goes. So
Yeah.
we're like, oh, cool, we charted.
charted.
Woo!
And just,
I'm gonna go eat some McDonald's now, guys.
Yeah.
And they don't even have a dollar menu anymore. It's like
yeah.
like a double cheeseburger is like what, $1.59 now?
That's bullshit, by the way.
59
McDonald's.
cents. That could totally break
Yeah.
me.
And
Your
I-
food was barely worth 99 cents. Now you marked it. There's
Yeah.
a special place in hell.
Yeah, that's one thing about us. Like we're extremely like stupid and goofy and silly, and that's like something.
We've been in trouble for it a time or two.
Yeah, the more you hang out
Only
with
once
us,
or twice?
the more like you really see like our personalities. Like we're just toilet humor, stupid fucking idiots.
But we're never like mean to him.
yeah, we're never like
You know,
mean.
like,
we're
it's
never
not-
like
it's not like
malicious. It's
mean-hearted
just like
humor.
we're just trying
Yeah.
to laugh and have a good time.
It's like Monty Python in real life.
Yeah.
So if you like Monty Python, you'll like us. If you you love or hate that guy, if you don't like Monty Python, you're not gonna like us. We're goofy. That's why all of our songs are so serious. I think that's what it
It's
is.
like
Like,
you make up for it with your music.
yeah, like we're totally like goofs in real life, but like every time we go to write a song, we're like,
Oh, yeah.
something's been on my mind that's just bothering me so bad. I just got to get it out.
No, it's
like,
that's a good point. That's good because like we're like the stupidest people you'll ever meet, but like when we come down like writing a song like Dial Tone or
so
something, it's
serious.
like we're just so fucking
yeah,
serious.
we're so serious. the whole
Fuck,
time.
dude, I remember this one time, like God, it's like
I think it's
But-
because we literally pour like the emotion out into the song, and then when it's done, like we feel better, and then the song starts coming to life, and then we're like, we start getting goofy and giddy, and
yeah.
then someone pulls out a camera and shows a video of me acting like a dad. A record label sees it and gets mad at Teddy.
Yeah. It's just we're just like really really funny.
Yeah.
We try.
We don't mean any
We're probably
harm.
more annoying than funny.
We're annoying funny.
Yeah, like we go
This-
so far that
Yeah,
you can't.
we will take a joke so far and just run with it.
Yeah.
for as
I'm
long-
Sorry, Licks.
I'm the same way though, and I have a very like dirty sense of humor. in case you
Yeah.
guys couldn't
Oh
see.
my God! Yeah,
Yeah, and so
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's funny. My former guitarist was always my like walking disclaimer. I think we broke him because he actually started like cracking his own dirty.
Yeah,
jokes
same with
here
our
and
manager.
there.
Our
And we're like,
managers.
but this is how he would do it, right? Instead of being the one to like be in the gutter, he would say something, and before I could say anything, he'd be like, "Shut up, Kraevin." And I'm like, but I didn't say anything, but you were thinking it. I'm like, no, you're thinking it. And that's why you told me to shut up, because you were thinking the dirty thought that you knew I would say.
Yeah.
And so he was always my walking disclaimer. Anytime we go somewhere, he'd always be like, just to warn you guys, so you're not offended. This is Kraevin. And you know how there's that one guy that's very inappropriate on like verge of sexual harassment and discriminatory? That's her. Not me, that's her.
I'm
You
sorry.
know?
You just
Don't
remind-
choke. That's what he said.
We did that to Curtis. Fucking walk in the room, and Curtis is like doing production, and Teddy's just standing behind him, rubbing his shoulders. Like, doing so good. And Curtis is just like,
Yeah, and like that's what it's like. And so then I got like, I get this like gig for Rock Rage Radio, and we're doing South by Southwest, and we're doing a bunch of showcases, like I told you, and my boss calls me and he's like, hey, Kraevin, I'm going to be sending somebody out there to like help you with the tent, because, it's like I can't be in two places at the same time. And we're going to have like a showcase going on at a venue, and we have the tent to go. He's like, I'm going to send them out here. And he's like, now, Kraevin, this is like a really nice guy. He's like married. I'm like, okay, so then don't invite him to the orgy. And he's like, did you really just, he's like, for the love of God, no. I'm like,
we've got an open spot.
I'm like, just, okay, cool. I
Just
won't.
testing the waters.
I just don't want him to feel left out, And he's just like, oh my God, for the love of God. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm not hosting an orgy. Or am I? I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. But he's just like, oh my God, Kraevin, and then it's like,
Our whole team is like that. Like,
yeah, and then he'll call me, and I like at Blue Ridge, and I have this tent. And he's like, and it was before I was like working for them officially, and my label got me the gig. And so my label rep calls me, and he's like, hey, don't stress out about it. Just be professional and yada yada and whatever. I'm like, have you met me? Like, describe professional, because to me, professional is walking around in like a bra and panties with like a see-through thing and being like, hi, come buy things. It's like, describe professional. He's like, I just do you. I trust you. Just do you. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, our manager is like this super. He's like an older dude, not like older, but he's in like his 40s, and he's like a super metal guy with all these tattoos. Like, looks like an ass beater. And when he became our manager, like I guess he wasn't ready for like our personalities. So like he would call us, and like the way we answer the phone is also like really stupid. So we'll answer the phone and be like, "Hi, BB, how are you?" And he'll be like, hey man, I already talked to you about schematics or whatever.
Yeah.
And now when he calls us, like I'll answer the phone and be like, what's up, man? He'd be like, hey baby boy, how are you? And it's so funny because like our whole camp is like we just got another feature. I won't say the name, but like our producer hit him up and was like, hey man, we can't think of what to do during this bridge. We really think that you would sound good here. Can you save us? And his response was one hard spanking. we were like, yeah, this guy.
I love it.
He's part of our camp for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So yeah, that's how it is with everyone.
And I think just piggyback off of that, is something with our producer Curtis would also agree with is like as long as you just be your 100% authentic yourself, like be yourself.
Yeah.
That will like give you opportunities and give you like build strong relationships that way with certain people versus like playing it safe.
Yeah.
And just being like a casual like acquaintance with everyone.
Exactly. Well, and I think people can tell too when you're being real and you're being authentic, and especially in this industry, like there's a lot of fakeness. There's a lot of
100%.
people who are just fake it to make it and doing what they think is cool and doing what they think is popular. But especially in rock and metal, like you said, the whole point to it is to be edgy, to be the rebel, to be the different thing. And so if you're not authentic, then I don't think it sells.
Comes across as real cheesy.
Yeah.
Real cheesy.
Yeah. And then I think that's how you get your super fans. Like you were talking about how, it takes some getting used to the people that believe in you. And I think that's why is because they can tell you're the real deal. You're
Yeah.
not out here just trying to sell them something. I mean, you are. Buy a shirt.
Buy a
Buy all the shirts.
Sennheiser.
But everybody wants to support your brand because they don't feel like you're just dressed up in some covering to be these hot rock stars. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you are hot rock stars because you're authentic.
Yeah.
And you're you 100%.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid to talk about anal at some random girl studio. And, you know,
Yeah,
you're totally fine just being who you are with everybody that you meet.
Yeah.
100%. We don't believe in playing it safe, and I think our next single will showcase that.
For sure.
For
Yeah.
sure.
We're gonna piss some people off, I'm sure.
Yay!
But that's fine.
We're just ourselves, so
I want to, you know, if we're gonna have this platform, I might as well use it for a little bit of something, you know, except for like a personal sad boy diary about my fucking weird past that was mostly self-inflicted. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we get out all of our negativity in songs. And I want people to like understand we are not like sad boys, but I also can't get like. There's something about writing like triumphant songs
Mhm.
that just feels weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and if you don't know what you're gonna say before you start trying to write that song, it comes out really forced and cheesy.
Yeah.
And it's not that like I like to lean towards the negative, but it's like the stuff that like in normal conversation you generally don't talk to people about that stuff because like
Yeah.
if you're the guy at the party that's walking around talking about your heartache to everyone and they keep walking away, you suck, dude. Like you
Yeah.
suck. Like nobody's there to hear that. So like I think that's kind of how our culture is like in certain spaces it's okay to talk about that kind of thing. And then in certain places it's not.
Yeah.
So like if you're like a Twitch streamer or something, you have like a community, you can confide in your community. That's a cool place to do it. When you're at Walmart getting groceries, it's not a good place to tell people about your problems. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I'll have to make a note for next time I go
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah.
Don't start crying to the cashier. Okay.
Yeah, don't cry to the cashier because the cashier's probably just gonna think you're crazy. Probably just gonna think you're crazy, unless it's bad enough. But I think that's why like all of our songs are like super serious, and they're either like we range from the wide ranges of pissed off to sad, and I don't think we have like anything like happy, triumphant. I mean, we tried out some new stuff on this album, but it's still like it was more like taken from the point of view of like, holy shit, how did the world get like this?
Yeah.
Because in like fucking 40 years, nothing's recognizable. Like after COVID, everything just went to shit, and like nothing is the same.
Yep.
Everyone is just frenzied right now because nobody knows what to do with themselves. You know, every job out there says they're hiring, but when you put in an application, you don't get the job. You know, and then everybody says, well, people are just too lazy to get jobs. So the lyrics are literally like, what the fuck is going on kind
Yeah.
of thing. You know, like we don't know which way is up anymore. And I think trying to get out of it is like somehow making it worse. It seems like it just gets worse and worse and worse every time we do something, because every time we do something, it seems like the dumbest shit we could have done.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't try to get too political because I don't know, something about like writing a song about like politics and take it from like my point of view of like I'm not female. I'm like a cis white male. So there's not a whole lot of politics that I should be speaking out on.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable speaking out on.
Yeah.
You know, because like I have my opinion on women's rights, which I think women should be able to do whatever they want to. But making a song about that would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Me. Like, because like I literally just think women should do whatever they want to. People should just do whatever they want to in general. People in general,
Yeah.
as like a whole, as humanity, just do whatever makes you happy. But that being said, I have so much going on that I can't like keep up to date with everything and know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just tend to stick away from politics and like basically just have my own insights based off of like headlines and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
what I like to do is talk to people directly, because if I talk about politics, that's like vague and it can be taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of subjects that do apply to me, but they don't apply to me like they apply to the people that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
So how can I say that I relate to you? And I have no idea what you're going through.
Right.
I can sit on the outside and say, man, that's fucked up. I really wish that wasn't happening. You know, especially with like all the Texas laws coming down on women, South Carolina being Satan itself, and all of that stuff going on. I can stand on the outside and feel for you, but I'll never know what you guys go through.
Yeah.
So like writing a song about that, I think I've explained myself in a circle on
Yeah.
that one. So writing a song about that I don't think it would, one, I wouldn't be able to connect with people like I want to
Yeah.
because I don't know. And two, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't have enough to say, you know, other than like, fuck you, let them do what they want to do. Like why is that such a big deal?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
But when I can sit here and talk to people like, hey, how did we let it get this far? Why did we sit back for so long and do nothing
Yeah.
while we watched legislation and, you know, go to shit, people go hungry, you know, bailing out fucking bank after bank after bank all the time, and it just ends to the same thing. It's me kind of like looking at people and being like, hey man, we can do something about this if we do something about it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of like unsure what to do at this point, because like if you go one way it fucks a ton of people, if you go the other way it fucks a ton of other people.
Well, then sometimes like there's like, you know, there's just no easy solution that helps everybody. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's why I think sometimes they're just like you said, sometimes you just need to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't even have a say in this issue at all.
Yeah.
Like at one point, is it just micromanaging?
Yeah, because like I don't know, I feel like there's a point where on either side where like the general population just gets annoyed with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're the cis white male that's like, you know, women should get the death penalty for abortion. If you're that guy, people hate you. And if you're the brown noser that just thinks like women should rule the world and men should live in caves and never do anything ever.
I mean,
Like
that's
Pete.
like the best thing he's said. Honestly, like I can get down with that.
But like, you know what I mean though, like everybody needs everybody to make this work, because it's fucking hard enough to do it on your own. And if everybody would just step up and realize that it's fucking hard for everybody, I think it would be like a lot better. Like sit back and actually listen when people try to tell you about things they're going through. Like I have a girl and a child, you know, she goes, you know, I have to hear about what women go through all the time, especially since we live in Oklahoma. It's like one of the most oppressive states for women in the entire United States. And I have to listen to this all the time, and I'm just fucking blown away by like these grown ass men who are in legislation passing bills on women's bodies with absolutely no care of the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
Like in Oklahoma, you can't even get medical abortions. Like if you're going to die and you're pregnant, well, they're going to take their chances to save that baby and you can just die. And it's like, but I know like 7 months out from my due date, why can't we take care of it now? And like I get myself fixed and then try again later.
Yeah.
Nope. This is the way Jesus wanted it. And it's like, Jesus Christ, we're underneath a religious regime now, is what it is. We have turned into a religious regime in certain states. And the same people that pass those laws will stand up and talk shit about Iraq and Afghanistan with Shia law and all that, when we're on our way to doing the exact same thing, just under the name of a different God.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand how they don't see that. I don't understand how people don't see that that's a very dangerous, slippery slope to get on. I don't understand how we've come so far from like core values of like freedom and liberty and pursuit of happiness, which to me implies do what you want to do, don't hurt anyone else.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that's like, oh, these transgender people ruining my children, but I want gun legislation passed where an 8-year-old can fucking open carry a gun. like Jesus Christ, people, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're not putting any control on guns. Don't take them away. No, we can't take them. Well, the people love to hunt and shit. Let them hunt and shit. But, you know, maybe putting certain regulations on, making it harder for people to register a weapon, you know, things like that. Jon Stewart was the one who said it the best the other day in that interview. He's like, you couldn't give a fuck less about kids like dying from guns. It's the number one cause of death in children in the U.S. Handguns, firearms. But they want to pass legislation on
to ban
transgender people from
drag shows.
From banning drag shows, yes, because they think that it's hurting their children. When's the last time you brought your kid to a drag show?
And they died.
And they died from watching someone in drag.
Yeah, well, the thing is drag shows are voluntary. You don't have to go. You can opt out. And like you said, you don't have to bring your child.
It's probably recommended that you don't. Because it's usually a club atmosphere. There's a lot of alcohol. Where there's a club atmosphere, there are going to be club drugs. And, you know, if you know that and you want to take your kid there because your friends are there, you should probably be really close to your kid the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, not saying, I don't know where people get this fabrication that if like a kid's at a club or a show or something, somebody's just going to walk up and be like, kid, here's cocaine and alcohol for the beer 7. Go ahead. This is $100 worth of cocaine. Please take this from me. Like, nobody does that. Nobody's going to do that to your kid. You want to know what the people on drugs at that show do when they see your kid? They see your kid and go, fuck, there are kids here? Is their parents here? Does somebody know I'm on drugs? They start freaking out a little bit.
They start freaking out.
They're not used to being the kids being in the club, you know, but if their parents there because they don't have a choice, I've been there. You know, you got to bring your kids sometimes. Usually your kid is in a designated spot and doesn't leave that spot. And if they do, it's like accompanied by you or someone that you really, really trust, like trust enough that take your kid, you know?
Yeah. Same. Like
So,
I have mine in a VIP area with a friend or behind my merch table. If he actually falls asleep at the merch table with the bands playing.
Like all of this like atmosphere that people put over like the club scene or like the show scene is completely fabricated bullshit. Like it's not true at all. The worst smoke that they will probably inhale is from a fog machine. Because we can't smoke inside anymore. We can't smoke anything. Can't vape inside. Can't smoke cigarettes. Definitely can't smoke weed. They'll arrest you for that. Like, it's controlled like any other business. The only difference is we play loud music and drink alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Which I do that here at barbecues at my house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is you do it at home anyways. Your whole family's drunk around your kid. He sees you drunk. He doesn't care. We're all millennials. We all get fucked up in front of our kids anyways.
I know I did once in front of my older daughter. She tells people to this day that she will not touch alcohol because she saw her mom throwing up in the bathroom at my dad's house on Thanksgiving.
That shit is a life lesson.
Saying, I'm gonna die!
Yeah.
Oh my god! And so she's like, yeah, I'm not touching this stuff.
That's funny.
And it's funny. She told her friends that too. And they were like, you don't want to drink? She's like, nope. Saw my mom.
I
Making a
think we
scene
were
in the
like,
bathroom. That was enough for me to say, nope, don't want to do it. I'm like, that was the whole point.
we were
That
so
was the
bad
whole
because
point.
like our parents grew up in like that time of like, you know, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
They hid who they were from you. And like, so you snuck out all the time and did whatever you wanted to do. And when they caught you, it was this big argument of how they never let you do anything or go anywhere, or experience anything. And I think with millennials, like, especially like millennials or anyone who's close to that generation, like we grew up with that and we saw it and we were like, I'm not going to lie to my kid, man. I smoke weed. I drink alcohol from time to time. It's a good time, but I also know when it's time to buckle down and be a fucking adult and do what I need to do and get my shit done.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for all this. And if you want to come back home when you're a grown-ass adult and crack open a beer after you're done with work and relax, or if you want to roll up a joint or whatever, that's completely fine with me. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just another way for people to decompress. You know, as long as you don't let it take you.
Exactly.
You can't let the alcohol take you. If you let weed take you, I don't know what to say to you. Get a stronger will. But like, you know, we grew up knowing what's bad for us. You know, I'll say it on the stream. Everybody wants to try party drugs. You know, they want to do the cocaine, they want to do acid. Do it once or a couple times. You know, space that shit out. If you're waking up at 7 a.m. shaking because you haven't had coke in 3 hours, it's probably a problem. Maybe don't do
that.
Maybe don't do cocaine that much. Like if your nose is bleeding, stop. Like stop the rest of the night. Go to bed at like 10 a.m. or whatever you're gonna do, and wake up the next day. And don't do it for like a week, maybe. Probably a good idea. Just be smart.
Yeah.
And that's something that like I'm very honest with my kid about. Is like that you're gonna be offered things in life, experiences are gonna have. He's 6, you know, and I explain it's like much smaller things.
Yeah.
Like hey, if like you want to go and play out in the mud, you got to understand there are things that happen when you do that. You know, you're going to get dirty. You won't be able to wear your shoes back inside. You're probably going to have to get naked. We're going to spray you down with a water hose before you come in here or something. You know, you can't track mud through the house. And it's the same thing with anything else. You got to learn your limits. You got to know what you're getting into and know that there are repercussions if you do it too much.
Yeah, there are repercussions, and it's like also keeping an eye on the, you know, on the long game. You know, a lot of people are so short-sighted; they don't see how their decisions and what they do right now in the moment affects later down the road. Like maybe even like you said, okay, yeah, I want to play in the mud, but that's going to affect these shoes. What if it's 50 degrees outside and I'm getting sprayed by a hose before I come inside? That's going to be cold as fuck.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't do that, but
I would totally do that. I would strip my kid down naked though, and I'd probably carry him in the house and stick him in the tub. But it's like, you know, the repercussions of that. What if those are your favorite shoes?
Yeah,
what
you
if
just
they're
ruin
ruined?
your shoes. Yeah.
What if they're ruined? You know, it's like
It's the very Neil deGrasse Tyson form of learning.
Yeah.
Of let them do their experiments. Let them learn firsthand what's going on. Don't hinder that because their shoes are going to get dirty. If they decide that they want to go out there and play in the mud in their shoes, that was their choice.
Yep.
And he's learning things very quickly from doing that. You know, he's learning that like, oh, if I do this, then this is going to happen. And I would rather that not happen than do this. And he's already making those decisions for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like funny because it's like based off of my theory of drug use in life that I came up with when I was like 19. It's like, hey, you got to moderate this shit, because like I was really bad with like binge drinking and stuff, and I had to like have that conversation with myself where it was like, you're not doing good because you go a week without drinking and then you drink every day of the next week and get hammered every day and then go a week without drinking and then do it all over again. Like that's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's still not healthy because I spend the whole week off of drinking, detoxing from drinking the week before.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a really vicious cycle, and I just had to put drinking down because well, one, it hurts my stomach really bad now because you get ulcers if you drink too much.
This is true. There are always side effects.
Yeah. I didn't know moderation, and I got a stomach ulcer from that.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I drank really heavy, like for a long time. For like it wasn't a long time. It was like 3 years really of like really hard drinking. I mean, I drunk on a Tuesday every Tuesday, you know, and the rest of the week. And then I would do my like week off after like a week or two of drinking every day. And I learned from that, like, oh shit, this stuff will get you quickly. And I didn't realize that binging was actually worse than just like doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I screwed myself up even more by binging.
Yeah, because like a lot of people don't know this, especially like your liver and things, like it'll slowly start to heal itself. And so, like you said, with the binging, because you take the time off, your body starts to heal itself. And then you're just breaking everything down again, repeatedly. So it's actually harder on your body than if it just stays in this like kind of like constant state, because it's like, well, at least I know how to handle it. Whereas like over here, I'm like, wait, I'm finally getting back to normal. And then you're just fucking this shit up again.
Yeah. And like, mind you, like my consequence for like that was like decently light. Because like the only thing that really happens is like I get heartburn if I eat Hot Pockets now. It's like, It's not that bad, but it could have been like way worse if I would have ignored that.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, stay on top of it, guys. Be smart about your shit.
Be smart. Moderate.
Your kids can go to the club. No one's gonna give your kids drugs.
No.
No one's gonna give your kids alcohol.
That shit's expensive.
It is. It's so expensive.
No, I don't know anybody who's like, this $9 beer. Get a second one. I'm gonna give it to that 7-year-old. Hell yeah, this is worth $9. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody does that, and nobody would do that because our community is not like that. Our community is full of great people.
Yeah.
I love this scene. I love the people in the scene. I love the fans. I like everything about it. That's why I like. So like, it's why we're doing this kind of music. You know.
Yeah.
Like we made like songs like Dial Tone. Obviously, we don't have to go out and play songs like Criminal. We could just do nothing but Dial Tone. But we love this scene. We like the people in it. You know, it's fun doing this. And I don't know. I don't really want to like belong anywhere else.
Yeah.
I like where we are, and I love you guys.
Oh,
special
we love
to us.
you. Yes, it is. It's a very good community. You know, a lot of people ask me too because I have an opera background, so I was.
I bet you're a powerhouse. Though.
I can sing very loud without a microphone.
Not
It's fine.
me.
But yeah, so and when I was a freshman in college, you know, I'd always liked rock and metal, but back then it wasn't really a thing that women did.
Yeah.
And then
You had like Amy Lee, like Lita
this-
Ford.
I'm
From way
dating
back in the day.
myself. There was no Evanescence back then. There was nobody. Nobody. Gwen Stefani was still in No Doubt, and that was about as hardcore as it got. And we all love Gwen Stefani. And so I became a backing vocalist for a friend's band in college, and they were doing metal. And then I wrote a song for the band, and everybody loved it, and they wanted me to be the front man, which was another reason why that was the first band I went on tour with. I told you guys broke up.
Oh yeah.
That was another big reason because the guitarist was the vocalist. and
Oh yeah. Don't replace the front man.
Don't replace the front man with a girl. Oh my God, in metal. Like,
That-
who
honestly,
does that,
Wouldn't
right?
have mattered to me because if they replaced me with Haley Williams, I'd be like, "Hey, smart move, boys."
So it was a big thing, and I decided that was what I wanted to do, and so I took a step down, you know, from opera. But even, you know, and then there was like a time when I got approached by a label, and they wanted to make me like this big pop star, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it because I love this community. I fell in love with it. At the time, it wasn't very supportive. I got shit on all the time for being a girl. People looked at me like, who are you dating in the band? They didn't have any idea that I was the singer. But, you know, it was just like, I couldn't walk away from it because I loved the community that I was in. And once people got to know me and realized, oh my God, you're the singer, everybody was so great and so just supportive of me and my band and my musical journey. And then you've got the pop industry over here who's like, oh, I'm sorry, but you have to put your kid up for adoption and you can't be a single mom. That's just not sexy. And like all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, don't tell me what I can and can't do. Don't stick baby in a corner, honey, because I'll prove you wrong. If it takes me the rest of my life to prove you wrong, I will prove you wrong that I can be a musician and be a single mom. And I don't have to put my child up for adoption.
Yeah.
He told me to ditch the boyfriend. I was totally fine with that. I was like, I'll ditch the boyfriend. He's like, but you got to put your kid up for adoption. Okay, fine.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'll ditch the boyfriend, but no. I won't put my kid up for adoption. No.
Not the family.
No.
You don't come after the family.
They're like, oh, well, you know, later on, you know, once your career's established, you can have a kid. I'm like,
No, I already have one.
but I have one now.
You already have one.
Yeah. So
That's a really shitty thing to do.
yeah, it was shitty. And they do that all the time in this industry. They like try and control, like you say, they try and control women and their bodies. I'm sitting here reading. Kristen says tequila, enough said. And next album needs to be Sad Boy Diary.
Sad Boy
I
Diary.
know.
Nice album.
That's the next album title.
We've been thinking about like album titles, and that's kind of close actually.
Diary.
Sad Boy Diary. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And we're going for one word themes, okay?
Yeah.
Because we like stuff to be easy to remember.
One word. That's hard.
Yeah, so like if you go and look at like a lot of our early music that we released, not like a lot, all of it, everything before Shame on Me is a one-word title.
Yeah.
And that's because we wanted it to be very easy for people to remember our song names,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which is why our name is Catch Your Breath. Catch Your Breath is a common phrase, but not used so much that it's cheesy. I got it from 300.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it.
God, I can never remember the guy's name, but the guy with one eye who gets hurt and he figures out the Persians figured out about the goat path up to the Spartans, and he comes up to Leonidas to tell him. And as soon as he runs up to Leonidas just goes, "Catch your breath." And I was like, "That's it." Called Teddy and was like, "Catch your breath," and he was like, "That's pretty cool."
Why was it taken? Because it's such a challenge naming a band nowadays because everything's
Yeah.
taken. Like,
All the good names are taken.
all
The
the good names are
Eagles, the
Yeah.
Doors. Who doesn't want to name the band the Doors? No, they were really cool names back in the day.
Yeah.
I think like the coolest band name I've ever heard in my life, and no one ever agrees with me, but I think it's Blind Witness. The Canadian metalcore band Blind Witness.
Blind Witness. I've never heard of them, but
They're famous for that clip that you hear. What the fuck is going on?
oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
Blind Witness. They're the ones they're the band that was clipped from. They're like a old Canadian band from back in like the single digit 2000s, and they did like 2 albums and just kind of fell apart. I guess I don't know what happened. If you guys are on here, tell me how you fell apart, please. No, I loved that band. They were really good. That was back when I like really heavy metal though.
Yeah.
I was into like Rose Funeral and like Whitechapel and Suicide Silence,
Oh yeah.
all the heavy stuff. Walked around saying phrases like, "What is this false non-metal music?" And now I'm like a pop singer.
Yep, but that's the thing is like I tell a lot of artists that I manage, and when you're doing artist development, it's like why are you here? You gotta figure that out. Like, why are you here? Are you here to make money? Are you here because you have something to say? You have to figure out your why. Like, why are you a musician? Because if you can't figure that out, we don't know what direction you're going.
Yeah.
And if, say, hey, I want to make money. Cool. You're probably, yes. Will you get to write for yourself? Yes.
Ish.
Mostly. But if you really want to repeat this chorus 4 different times in 4 different ways using, all this, probably not going to happen, because there's a formula you got to follow, and there's just things you got to do when you're writing songs for others. Because when you are, when you want to make money, that means you want people to pay you, which means you have to write your music in a sense. Yes, you can be you can be authentic, you can do it in your own way, but you still have to write for what your demographic likes, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
there's
like
only one sleep token.
Yeah. It's like if you want to be deathcore, if you want to be this and you want to be that, it's like, okay, that's great. But you have to know your audience, you have to know your demographic, you have to know what they like, because if you stray off the path, you can't force people to be like, oh, you will like me.
This is why I want to get into managing, I think, is because I completely agree with you. It's like, look, if you want to do something and you want to be successful at it, you have to answer all of those questions.
Yes.
What's your purpose? Why are you doing it? And what's your message?
Exactly.
Okay, if you can answer all those questions and have a good answer for all of them, you can make money and you can make a living. You won't have to go back home and work a job in this scene, okay? But understand this. There's one Slipknot. Slipknot happened. Why do you think Murder Dolls did? Because there's one Slipknot. There's one metal band that wears masks that has a big message to talk about, and it's Slipknot.
Yep.
And bands like Sleep Token are great. I love Sleep Token, but I think bands like that are dangerous too, because it inspires a generation of kids who think, oh, I'm going to go make a living playing this super obscure goth rock.
Yep.
And then they go into it and they write songs that are good, but they always sound like a ripoff of Sleep Token.
Yeah.
And that's what ends up happening is you get trapped in these areas where you hear a band and you're super inspired by that one sound, and then you try to recapture what they're already doing.
Yep.
and you always fall short, and it's a dangerous trap to fall in. So you have to sit back and answer those 3 questions yourself.
Yep.
You can't look at another band to answer those questions, because even changing the phrasing and the wording a little bit completely can change the trajectory of your band.
Yep.
So you have to be smart. Like if you want to answer all those 3 questions, you have to figure out a way to relate it to today. And a big problem in metal is like they're in love with August Burns Red 2015.
Yep.
And that's what they want to do, and that's the sound they want to hone in on. It's like, well, August Burns Red doesn't even sound like that anymore.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Like they cornerstoned that sound and they ran it into the ground, just like every other artist does with their music, is because it's the thing to do. You find something that works for you and you keep pumping it until it stops showing results.
Yep. And then you
evolve.
You evolve, and if you don't, then you're like those bands that kind of just fall off
Adapt
after
or
a
die.
while. Yep.
Adapt or Die and Bring Me the Horizons, a perfect example of a band that adapted every single time they had to.
They're
And it's not like
incredible.
it's not like they reinvented the wheel. At each album, they mixed it up just a little bit more and a little bit more, and they moved more towards that Ammo sound each album. And then Ammo came out, and now they're like superstars, and it's because they did it right. They had a message. They have a brand. They have something that they want to say, and it's very firm. And Ollie's really pretty, so that helps too. But like that's beside the point. You don't have to be pretty. Look at Of Mice and Men.
And that's true. And it's funny, like you really don't. So fortunate for boys. Girls are held to this whole other standard, but guys, like you guys can fall out of bed and wear whatever on stage, and you guys are just rock stars. The girls like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can, but like I look at bands like Bad Omens and like Noah Sebastian. Noah Sebastian wears like high fashion, and he always looks his best.
Yep.
And that's why Noah Sebastian is like the most revered vocalist in metalcore right now, is because his look is down, his attitude is down, his sound is down, his stage performance is down. He's got it all down. And he went with an image, and he went all in on it.
Yep.
I mean, to the point of like deleting his Instagram page. I'm not sure what that was all about, but it fed into his like mysterious, like almost like secretive villain, the image that he has going on. It's working out really well for him.
Yep.
Because he tied it all together. You can throw on your blue jeans and your old A Day to Remember with Ren and Skippy or who Pinky in the Brain on it. It says "Fuck You" from Florida on the back. It's lime green. I used to have that shirt. That's why I know it so well. But you can wear that on stage. But unless you're like, your sound is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sound great
Yep.
in order to get on stage looking like one of the fans and perform, and them to be like, holy shit, I believe in this band.
Yeah.
Because it's like subtle, like at the end of the day, nobody really cares what clothes you're wearing. But when you paid money to go watch a performance from a band, you expect everything to be there. You expect the look to be there.
The entertainment.
They're
value.
talking to you the way that you want them to talk to you, and you sound the way that they want you to sound. And it's a lot less, once you get to a certain level, it's a lot less about just going and playing shows to make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
Now you're going to play shows to make your fans feel good.
Yep.
You're playing for your fans. You're giving them a show. So yes, you can come up there in whatever you want to. But I think the fans always appreciate it more, and you always do a lot better when you try.
Yeah, I would add to that. It's like it's part of your brand. Like at the end of the day, we are a product in a sense of like we have to look good. You have to be on brand. You can't just go be off brand, because then that just off puts it doesn't sell. Like, you got to sell this one package deal.
Everyone's wearing a leather jacket and you got a cotton hoodie on.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's all like I guess strategy and better in a sense.
Yeah.
Everything you guys see a band do is done for a reason. Like especially when you get to like her level, or like we're babies. We're not at your level, but like when you get to her level, everything she does, every time she turns on her camera, every time she goes out in public, most of the time, unless it's like grocery shopping, I'm sure. But every time you go out to work, it's, 2 hours of getting ready before, making sure that you look great before you go anywhere, before you step on that stage and put a microphone in your hand. Everything is there. You look good, and getting your look right puts you in the mindset of, okay, I'm a vocalist today. I'm the front man today. And then you go on stage, you're already ready because you look good, you fill in the role, you get on stage and you throw a great performance. And it works out so much better than waking up an hour before the show, rolling out of bed, throwing on whatever clothes you have, not showering, not getting ready, and just going up on stage and not giving a shit.
Yep. And it's so true too, because and it's funny because I'm that way with my bandmates, and as they've gotten to know me, and my guitarist, I give him so much shit. My former guitarist, love him to death, but I was like the dress code police.
Yeah. You have to be.
I was always the one, hey, this is our image. You're joining the band that already has one. I'm sorry. This is just part of the gig. And if you don't show up wearing something appropriate, trust me, I have your size on the tour bus and you will be wearing what I put you in.
Yeah.
And I've sent people, like, when I'm in the venue and we're loading in and we're doing stuff, and I'll look at somebody and I'll be like, is that what you're wearing? Or are you just, that's what you're wearing to sweat in while loading in the gear, and then you're going to go back out and change?
What are the gray New Balances for?
And he's just like, oh, what? Is this not acceptable? That salmon colored shorts and shirt with like,
oh no,
palm leaves on it?
Yeah, he's like prepping it out.
I'm like, really? This is what we're doing? And he's like, so is that a no? I'm like, yeah.
You see the rest of us, how we're all wearing black and red?
And my bassist at the time, he goes, oh my gosh, I will never forget that moment where he's like sulking like a kid being walked to timeout because I'm walking him out to the tour bus to change it. He's just like, we haven't had a laundry stop. He goes, and all my stuff I've sweated in. I'm like, valid concerns.
You only gotta wear half an hour, put it on.
Yeah, I'm like, this is why I have this covered up here with a bunch of black cane tees.
Yep.
Pick your whatever. Here's some scissors. Have some fun. Yep. Whatever you got to do. Cut the sleeves off. Slice and dice it to make it look like our style. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't carry pants in your size. You're just gonna have to wear like.
Just wear your dirty ones,
just
man.
wear the dirty ones. It's fine.
It's rock and roll, bro.
And then we'll shower tonight. Tonight after the show, we'll stop by a gym and we'll have a shower time. So you
hand wash your jeans.
You can climb in the shower with your clothes on. We'll hang them in the shower, and the tour bus will be fine. And he's like, okay. But because like you said, it gets to that point. Like,
well, he's lucky that you weren't just like, well, I guess you can just stay inside stage and play the show. Like you could have very easily been like, I don't want to deal with this, stay inside stage.
Yep. And it's like, no, we're gonna walk to the tour bus, and I do, for everybody who's watching, all my new bandmates, I keep covered in the back room. There is extra black cane tees.
I mean, that's honestly like, I just thought about that, and I was like, yeah, if somebody doesn't like, I mean, mine is O'Neill's like our biggest like worry is because like, I guess we all come up in like our cloaks and like we got like jackets, we're all blacked out, and then like O'Neill walks up in like his gray like polo hoodie, and it's like. That's a nice hoodie, bud. Why are you wearing it?
I had a former band, in a former band.
I love you, O'Neill.
I had a bassist who his favorite band was Kiss. And I have a very big policy on when we're on stage, unless it's a company that endorses us or a band we're on tour with, right? We don't wear other brands.
Yeah.
We're our own brand. Right? Like you can wear Sennheiser if you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll wear Cat Audio. Yeah. Cat Audio. Yay, Sennheiser. You know what I mean? Unless it's someone who's endorsing us. Or hey, we want to give a shout out to one of the bands that we've been on tour with. I ran out of Dirty Laundry. They gave me one of their shirts. I'm wearing it up on stage. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No big deal. But other than that, we're our own brand. I don't want to see logos. I don't want to see words.
Yeah.
And
don't come on here with your Adidas logo shirt, please.
No,
please don't do that.
That's like, I'm a big fan of Breaking Benjamin. Don't wear one of their shirts on stage,
Yeah.
Unless we're on tour with him, then I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna be like decked out with like bees everywhere because I'll be like, oh my
You
god,
hear that, Breaking Benjamin? In order to get us to wear your merch, you got to take us on tour.
take us on a tour. Oh my god.
You hear that, Andrew Wade?
I would probably be so excited I'd probably pee myself. But so I had a bassist and he shows up and he's wearing a kiss tee.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I hope that you brought something else to wear or you have something on underneath that because that's getting you're taking that off before we get on stage.
Yeah.
And this is the whole him kind of pushing his limits because it was one of our first shows with me as the singer, right? I'm the girl.
Mm.
And I'm new and he's just like, no, I'm gonna wear it on stage. You can't tell me no. And I'm like, here's the deal. You guys can either go up there without a bassist. You guys can go up there without a singer. I go, if you force me to get up there, I will not say no, but I will take scissors or a knife or whatever I can find, and I will literally rip that thing off of him while we're playing.
Yeah.
Fans will love it.
Yeah, they won't know any different.
Fans will love it. They'll be like, oh my God, that's so metal. That's so hardcore. She's ripping his clothes off while he's playing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone will love it. They'll think it's part of the show. I'm like,
Get shirt
but
off my
you're
stage.
Probably going to be crying because that is your favorite t-shirt
Yeah, just don't do it.
and your favorite band. So it's like, turn it inside out, take it off and leave it in your car. I don't care where it goes, but if you get on stage with that thing on,
It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
it's coming off.
Yeah.
If I have to rip it off of you, if I have to cut it off of you, I will literally get up on the microphone and be like, who has a knife? Scissors. A lighter. I will,
lighter.
Whatever I have to do to get that shirt off of you, it's coming off. And he looks at everybody else in the band and they're like, guys, he's like, guys, this is fucked up, guys. What do you think? And they're just like, we ain't fucking with her, bro. Like, you're on
you
your
should
own.
change your shirt, bro. You got a bunch of plain black ones in there. Just grab one.
they're just like,
We
we're
literally
not touching
bought
that.
like
Yeah, we bought
bulk shirts before
shirts
this tour.
before
Like
the
we got like 10 of these. Like because this is kind of like, you know, this is we dressed up for in our show here.
Yeah.
It's still casual.
Yeah.
This is a very easy look to pull off. It's
It
not
really
asking
is.
much.
No, it's not.
You know, and you know if you don't follow that, I just might make you play without a shirt on, Keenan.
Hot.
You might do
That's
that
sexy.
anyways.
That's sexy. That's sexy. Put without a shirt on. That's fine. Make it all off. All of
We
it.
convinced our old guitar player to wear a fishnet shirt once. That was great.
Yeah, he was all about it.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was totally down for it too, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, paint your fingernails black, fishnet shirt. You want an eyeliner? He was like, the eyeliner, probably not. I was like, bet I'll paint my fingernails black with you. You wear a fishnet shirt. We're gonna wear all black. It's gonna be great. Went over pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the eyeliner on my guys, and it like my guitarist, the one that was you know, like I told you, was like super conservative and whatever, that we kind of broke him. He's like this tall, blonde, like German Viking dude, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, do I have to? I'm like, yes. Okay, fine. And so then he sits down and I put the eyeliner on. It makes his eyes stand out so good. Like
Yeah.
the blue is just like piercing under the lights.
I thought about stage makeup for us for a while.
And I do like, I don't do just like, you know, guy liner or whatever. Like we kind of have like a Viking vibe to like the makeup that we do.
Yeah.
And so we would play on that. And so like some of our music videos, like I bring in a professional artist and she'll do like the black and like do really cool stuff. And
That's awesome.
then I'm the one that does it on tour. So I'm like a simplified version of that because I'm not her, you know, but
Yeah,
my
that's
skill
fine.
level
It's
is not
stage.
there, but it's, you know, it's on stage, but, and you know, after he saw, cause we did like a photo shoot with him and with, you know, we did a big photo shoot of the whole band and then, you know, each individual member. And when he saw his photos and how they came out, and he's just like,
I'm
the
beautiful.
next tour we're on, he's like, I'm here for my makeup if you want it. And I'm like, oh, are we not fighting about this anymore? He's like, no, I've decided it's okay. I'm like, well, that's fine. That's good.
I'm like kind of looking into like a light stage makeup and like especially whenever we go like take photo shoots, like putting on like a light base
Mhm.
and just to smooth our skin out.
It really
work
helps a lot
wonders.
with lighting. It helps a lot with it helps your photographer out a lot too. And it
Yeah,
just
less
makes
glare.
your photos look better. And then especially when you have like a foundation on, a lot of it, like it reflects or absorbs the light differently than when, like, even my makeup artist that I use, every time we do like a music video shoot or a photo shoot, she'll ask me, she'll be like, what's the theme? What's this? What are you wearing? And how is the lighting going to be? Are you shooting in daytime or dark? Because it depends how the lighting is going to be, what foundations she uses, and what like undertones.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
smart,
it'll, she's like, if you do this, it'll be too dark on camera, and then your videographer is going to have a hard time, or photographer is going to have a hard time in like the post editing or whatnot, lighting. And so it really can make a big difference just having a makeup artist.
Yeah.
For,
we've got plenty of friends that are super talented at that can help us out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about it, I'm not, I was like in theater and shit as a kid, so like stage makeup is not foreign to me. So I thought about it because it could only help, There's a reason that a ton of people wear it, Women wear foundation all the time to smooth out their complexion.
I used to not even wear a lot. It was only when we started playing like the bigger and bigger shows, because I would get the photos back and you're like, oh my God, I want to see photos of me at the Apollo Theater and like these venues and all this stuff. And you're like, I'm a blob.
Yeah.
You can't see my eyes. You can't see, my lips. You can't see anything. It's just, everything is so blurry because of all the lights. The lights are so bright. And so I started wearing more makeup and like, oh yeah, sometimes I have to wear fake eyelashes and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, you're so extra. No, it's just like, I look extra in person, but when I am up on stage, I look normal.
Well, you're
completely normal.
You're supposed to be polarizing, Yeah. Like you're the front man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would ever look at a front man and be like, you're being too extra, unless, like they're being crazy, like literally dressing up like a clown or something. Like that's a little extra, but like a little more stage makeup, wearing, a different type of clothing, or, like I'm going to try out a new type of corset today on stage. I would never be like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about, being polarizing, because that's what people pay attention to.
Yeah. Well, plus a part of it is just like you said, is kind of getting into your persona, right? Because that's what people want. That's what they want to see. So I kind of have like this ritual before a show where it's like I have my like 2 hours before, where it's like I got my thing that I do, and it's like it's doing my makeup, and it takes 2 hours to do my makeup and in my hair and my outfit and the whole thing. But I have turned it into a routine where I have like a specific playlist that I listen to, and like warm-ups that I'm doing, and like a tea that I'm drinking, and it's kind of like this ritual where you're just like, I am becoming Kraevin. You know what I mean? But it's like then you get up on stage and you're like,
what's weird is I got a steam inhaler, and that helps me out a lot.
Yeah.
Like right before I do warm-ups, usually when I'm on tour, I wake up, we get to the venue, I usually get something to drink and something light to eat, and then I'll kind of hang around until about an hour before our set. I'll go out and I'll use my steam inhaler for the second time, because I forgot when I wake up in the morning on tour, especially I wake up and use that steam inhaler, and it just gets all of the phlegm and gunk out of your throat from like, doing vocals for God knows how long. Because people don't understand, there's a difference between like singing and like being on tour.
Yeah.
Because like you wake up every day on tour and think, I blew out my vocal cords the night before. and then you like do all the stuff that you need to do for your voice, and you're like, oh no, I didn't. Okay. And my voice is just telling me that I used it. But that routine, like right before we go on stage, like an hour before, I'm able to finish it up, and then right when I'm done is when the other band's coming off of stage.
Yeah.
And then we're about to go on stage. And that just puts me like in the right mindset. Like, I don't know if like I'm meditating and I don't know, but like I use my little steam inhaler and I just close my eyes and like I run through the set in my head every time. And then once I'm done steaming, I'll do my vocal warm-ups. And then after I'm done with my vocal warm-ups, I'm ready to go on stage. I'm hyped. I'm usually backstage, like pacing back and forth. Ask him, I'm always pacing back and forth. I'm ready to go. And it gets me in that zone to where I'm like, I'm the vocalist of Catch Your Breath. I'm not Josh right now.
Yeah.
And go on stage and put on a performance and cuss at 14-year-olds for half an hour, and it's great.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of cursing. I'm sorry. It's just what I do.
Yeah, the same. Whenever I'm in like band mode, it's like the profanity just keeps coming out.
Motherfuckers!
Fuck is like every other word. It's, I'm sorry.
I want to
Everybody's
see
like,
you
oh my
fuck
gosh,
somebody
yes.
up. I would never say that outside. What am I doing? I would never just be in Walmart and just look at a lady and be like, I want to see you fuck somebody up. I would never do that. But when I get on stage, like fucking kill people. Ah! I don't know why I do that. I should probably stop saying stuff like that.
No, it's fine.
I think the favorite thing that I do is a wall of death. Like we were able, like the first probably week of that tour, I didn't really call for it because I wasn't thinking about it. And then like we performed it in front of people more and more and more. And I was like, this is a perfect fucking spot for a wall of death.
Nice.
And I remember South Carolina when I did that, it was fucking insane. It's cool. Oh my God. Like I didn't expect, like I think there's a video of South Carolina
Yeah.
where we did the wall of death and like the whole venue got in on it. And I remember being like, I'm gonna do this forever now. I'm gonna do this.
So cool.
I'm gonna do this every time we get a chance. Because like if you've never been able to do a wall of death, holy shit, it's the coolest feeling in the world. I don't know why, but it is. Something about like two-stepping and moshing just doesn't do it for me. I need to see people crash into each other violently in order to know they like our music.
Yes.
I want to see somebody leave on a stretcher. Not really.
No.
We'll give you a free shirt if you do though.
You know what's crazy though? It's like, you know, the whole, you know, a lot of people think that metal is violent, you know, metal and all that because we mosh and we have a wall of death and all this stuff. But really, it's so funny. I go to a lot of festivals, and I was at Blue Ridge, and they said that there was 150,000 people there on Saturday, the night that Slipknot headlined.
Jesus.
Nobody left on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Like, not a single person.
Yeah.
I was there, and it was crazy because I was there when anytime Seven Dust is on a stage, I go in the pit. I can't help it. I gotta be in the front. I gotta I love them so much. And it was just this churning, like blender of just bodies. And then at the end, everyone's just like hugging it out and yeah, bro, you know what I mean? It was so crazy. It's so funny because it's like you think everybody's out to kill each other, and then 2 minutes later, they're jumping up and down, hugging and screaming the lyrics.
When people fall down in our pits, we pick them up. Travis Scott.
Yes, that is a thing. But yeah, they had to stop. I think Slipknot had to stop their set 4 times because people would fall in the pit.
Oh my God.
And so they would stop, and then everybody, you know, the security would come through or whatever, check everything. Okay, all good. Everybody thumbs up. Then they just start again. It was insane, but it was cool.
Yes.
I talked to a guy who was at the you know, they were in the front along the rail, and one of the security people, and he was, yeah, you know, other than like a few like bloody noses here and there from someone catching an elbow, or, you know, a guy fell and like landed on his ankle wrong and like messed up his ankle. And then a guy like got, he like when he was crowd surfing in the front, like he kind of got dropped and like his foot caught the rail, and other than like stuff like that, like
really minor stuff.
He's like, you know, for as many people as it was and as insane as the music was, he goes, it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. We're like I said, the metal community, we actually like give a shit. Like I will yell in the middle of playing a song if someone falls down. I'll stop singing and say, fucking pick him up, you know. It's really easy to stop what you're doing and go, hey, that person fell, pick them up. That person right there. Okay, I'm gonna continue singing the song now. Like, it's super easy to do that. The band won't stop playing. I take care of that. If people fall or get hurt, I will take care of it. And we'll keep playing the song. Just pick them up. Make sure things don't make me jump in the crowd and go get them. Because if I have to jump, if I leave the stage, these guys are going to look and go, oh, fuck, Josh left the stage. Let's go. Oh, he's picking somebody. Oh, we better stop playing. You know, so just listen. If you guys see somebody fall, pick them up. We usually do. We never had a problem with that.
Yeah.
except the time Joel jumped off the balcony. But that was Joel's fault. Nobody caught him.
Yeah.
No, he, for their sake, the balcony was pretty high up, and Joel's like bigger than me, and jumped off of this balcony, and like people saw that coming and was like, "Fuck that," you know, and it knocked the breath out of him, but he was fine.
Huh.
But maybe catch the people. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you where it's not that heavy. Trust me. If I and a group of people can catch Danny Warsnop, you guys can catch Joel or Teddy or me. We're much smaller.
Awesome. All right, so a couple more questions before we close this out. Getting back to the fun ones because I know Teddy really likes them.
I have ADHD, so it's like it's super easy for me to just go off on tangents. I'm sorry, true.
No, it's totally fine. That's the whole point, is everybody can get to know everybody.
Yeah.
So for Teddy, we'll let you start this one. Where is the most awkward place you've ever had a boner?
Probably in school, like in math class or something. I had like back in high school, I was just like minding my own business, doing like pre-cal, just and like legit not thinking about anything, just doing like trying to think of numbers and shit, and I just pop boners all the time. And it was like an inside joke with me and my friend group, just like Teddy always has a boner for like no good reason. Yeah, I was like,
Math is hard, it gets you hard. It makes sense.
makes sense.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that happens to like every teenage boy.
That's just a random thing.
Well, like for me, it was like,
Like it
when I
was
would get
legit
like
random.
when I would get sleepy in class, I would get like comfy, you know, and I would start falling asleep, and it would just happen. I don't. Okay, so I don't know if a guy's ever told you this, but like when we get sleepy and comfy, sometimes it just happens. I don't know why. Maybe it's just from being comfortable or something.
Sometimes, yeah.
It just happens,
yeah,
especially like right before you fall asleep and like right when you wake up. It's just there for no. It's not like you're like thinking about anything dirty. It's just.
Yeah.
I really think it's like a comfort thing, and like you know you kind of relax in your blood pressure.
Yeah.
And, you know, stabilizes and everything. And little soldier just decides to wake up for you. So, yeah, that's probably the same answer for me, actually.
So, have you ever walked in and witnessed your parents performing any kind of sexual act or
Yeah.
having sex?
No.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Really? It's weird.
Yeah, my mom and my stepdad. I think we had company over, and I was like trying to make them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. And I didn't knock on my mom's door because like I was a kid, you know, so I just like opened it, and I remember my mom was like on top of my stepdad, and she like grabbed the blankets and was like, Joshua! And I was like, oh shit! And just closed the door really fast, and that was my experience. I didn't see anything, thankfully, because I think I'd have PTSD if I did.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Yeah,
You
it
would.
would definitely scarred me for life because.
I'm definitely scarred. Definitely scarred by my parents. It was my mom and my dad. And
How it should be. Though.
they didn't know that I saw them to this day, unless my mom is watching right now. They don't know that I saw them. And yeah, it was I was 4. I was supposed to be taking a nap,
Yeah.
you know, and then I woke up and was like sneaking around the house and walked in the living room.
Oh, in the living room.
Yeah, they were doing it in the living room.
Hey, you know what? Kudos to your parents.
Yeah.
You guys are kinky. I like it.
Yeah, they were doing it, and it was funny because like I didn't know what was going on. Right, I'm 4. I just kind of realized, oh, they're there. I need to go back to bed, right, before they catch me being awake when I'm not supposed to be. And then later on, you know, I was a very sheltered person, so I didn't know how babies were made. And my mother, right before I turned 13, decided she should probably inform me because I'm going to get my period at any point. Might think I'm hemorrhaging and dying.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I need to impart some knowledge onto you.
You were
And
like,
that
oh my
image
God.
like slammed into me like Technicolor, right? And I was like, oh my God, you guys did that. And blah. She's like, it's not that bad. I'm like, she's thinking like she's just explaining to me the birds and the bees, and I'm over here thinking, oh, there's me and my sister. They've done this thing before, right? In
Yeah.
like some vague knowledge. I'm like, no, I witnessed like,
The whole shebang.
yeah. My
Oh,
mom
God.
giving my dad a blowjob, and I was just like, like, get out of my head right now. And yeah, of all
Are
the
they
things,
still married?
No,
Oh, son of a bitch.
no,
I was gonna be like, that's why.
no.
Keep
And
it up,
according to
Mom.
my stepmom, my dad's a freak.
Hey,
Guess
keep
that's
it up,
where I
Dad.
get it from. Had to come from somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm sitting here like, oh my God, get this out of my head. So if God forbid I ever get older and I get dementia, Alzheimer's, I start losing my memory. Unfortunately, that's going to be like the last one to go. I won't know
It's
my
like-
own name. I won't know my children. I won't even know my own band name, but I will remember this memory like for all time. Just scarring.
Oh my God.
Just scarring. Yeah, it was just like,
I feel like I got out easy. I did get out easy. I had older brothers, so like I was knowledgeable at a very young age, thanks to them. One's 3 years older than me, and one's 4 years older than me. So like by the time I was 9, I was fucking doomed. Like there was no hope for me.
Is there any like have any family or parents ever walked in on you guys doing
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. My high school girlfriend.
You're getting off easy over here. Like,
Yeah, I was
where'd you
very.
grow up? A monastery?
No, I don't know.
She's a shy guy growing up.
Oh no, I'm not even that. It's just like I don't do anything, so it's just like
He's like, when
I
I
was-
was told it's nap time, I stayed in my room like
yeah,
a
I
good
was
boy.
like
See?
yeah,
Not
I
me.
was a good boy
No,
in a sense.
I was not.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those good boys.
I was not
There's
a
a
good
bad
boy.
boy in there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
He's like, yep.
100%.
Yes, good breath.
When I feel like it.
Sometimes he eats candy right before he goes to bed.
I'm the worst.
Oh my god.
He hides the remote. Really sick shit, you know.
That's evil.
The worst.
That is so evil.
Yeah.
And so what's like a funny habit that you guys have like on tour? Like, do you guys have any funny habits? Like my guy, for example, like my boys, they like to eat cookies after shows. And Chris has a thing where he likes to hide up. He has the bunk like above like the driver's seat. And so he likes to take like donuts or cookies up there. Like he's this little kid like hiding up there eating his snacks.
No, I just
Like,
Yeah, we don't have it. White Claws.
yeah. Teddy,
guess we
Teddy
always
likes
drink White
his
Claws.
Teddy likes his White Claws. I usually just smoke weed after a show
yeah.
because I just want to come down. I smoke weed before I do everything. Though. I don't know why. I just really like marijuana. Our drummer's the same. We have like the same ritual. I don't know what the fuck Keenan disappears. That's his ritual before shows.
Yeah, he's always.
He disappears about
Wondering.
3 seconds until he has to be on stage, gives us all an anxiety attack, and then does his thing, and then he's gone again. We never. Keenan's the guy. We never know where he is, and he always has the fucking keys. There's always the one guy. The key game on tour. Where are the keys?
Where are the keys?
Oh my god! Everybody just fucking make their own copy of the van key at this point. Like, I'm so tired of chasing around goddamn keys. If it's not the van keys, it's the money box. If it's not the money box, it's the fucking square that goes in the money box.
Carter your shit.
And like,
Yeah.
and like the funniest part about it is like right at the end of the whole show, when everybody like comes up to buy merch. That's when nobody's to be found with all the shit. And like, so it'll be me selling merch and somebody be like, you guys take card? I'm like, fuck yeah, we take card, dude. Let me just get this. All right, let me call one of the guys real quick. And they don't answer. Because
Workarounds. If you put the app on your phone, you can manually enter a card.
we have, we all have iPhones now,
Yeah.
which we all upgraded that. I used to have an Android, so I couldn't use Square. At the time, I could not use Square,
Yeah,
and then
the
we actually
Lightning.
have the Square now, and we've got like the whole mounted reader that's going to go to like a tablet and everything.
Oh yeah, I have. I bought that when we went on tour with Tantric and Smile Too Soul because it was just over because I had the little thing that plugs into the bottom of the phone, but it was like
Yeah.
so like flimsy and
Yeah.
it didn't work half the time.
I'm just
sitting
scared
there,
you're going to lose it all the
yeah,
time.
and then it's like you're trying to swipe the card and it's like it doesn't read it. then I would figure. That's how I figured out the manual
Was it-
entry thing. So I was just
Yeah.
over it.
Was it the one that goes in here, or
Yep.
did you have the one that went in the headphone jack?
No, the one that goes in there.
So I've seen people. I didn't know that they made one that went in the headphone jack too, and all that thing does is fucking spin in circles when you try
Yep.
to use it.
Yep,
It
we
just-
had both, and that's what I tried that one like one time, and I was like, no, never again.
It just spins in circles
Yeah.
and pisses you off every time you try to swipe a card.
Yeah.
Like the corner of the card catches it, and you just. And the thing
But then I
just
got
flips
the
around.
one that goes in the bottom because I got the iPhone 12,
Yeah,
and
those are so much better.
yeah, but
so
it's
much
still
better.
just like, eh.
Yeah, it takes like. People freak out sometimes because like the square reader will not read the card the first time, so you're like.
And they're like,
Shit.
how many times do you charge
Hey,
me?
yeah, like, I don't want to spend $90 on a shirt, like, bro.
Buy them all. Buy them all.
Come on, dude. Like, I wouldn't charge you 3 times if you were standing right there. I'm just kidding.
But
I would never charge you 3 times.
the register thing works great. And we have the register, and we have like,
We
and
gotta-
I got it because of COVID, because we were touring as much as we could during COVID.
yeah.
We were playing shows here and there, and it had, if you bought the little register thing, it came with the touchless hands-free thing free, and it just like, it like plugs into it. So we would have that on the thing.
Makes it so much easier.
Makes it easier for, COVID and all that.
We got our little pink hentai money box. We lost our original one, so Teddy went out and bought a pink one.
Oh
He
yeah,
got, like,
no,
hentai
you
stickers
no,
all
y'all
over
didn't
it.
lose it, y'all. I think you lost the key to
Oh
it.
yeah, I
So we-
lost the key.
So
to
originally
it.
we had a
And
black,
come and take it
a little
somewhere.
black money box, and lost the key, so it was just obsolete. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna buy a pink money box. It was cheaper on Amazon, so I bought one.
It's great.
And
I
then
love that
I just
box.
got this like really lewd like anime sticker like put on top of it. And it's just like boom.
We need more lewd anime stickers.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
lewd
love-
anime stickers
love-
and where it's at.
or just
Great.
straight up hentai stickers. Like,
Yeah, fuck it.
we don't mind.
I don't care. Put some titties on our
We
box.
love it.
everybody likes titties.
That's right.
Who doesn't like titties? We all
Everyone
love
loves titties.
All right, so one final question before we wrap this up. But before I ask you my last question, let me see what questions, if anybody's said anything. Da, 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 da. Josh speaking directly to McDonald's as if they're watching. You never know; they may be watching.
You're everywhere, McDonald's.
They are literally everywhere. All right, that's it. Corey Nichols says, "Teddy, have my babies."
Gladly.
He doesn't mean that.
No,
Brian, oh, love you, Brian. Says Kraevin, you rock. All right, guys, one more question before we wrap this up. And the last question I like to ask, actually 2 questions, is what is your most embarrassing stage moment?
Probably at Come and Take It
The
when we were
backtrack
playing
thing?
Dial Town.
Oh.
And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
sing it with me. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That was embarrassing
Yeah.
for your part.
Yeah,
For you.
Dial Tone had only been out for like 3 months. That was a bad call.
Yeah.
That was a bad call. I could do it now, and it would probably work just fine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But like
Depends on our ticket sales.
at the time that I did it, that was probably like my most cringy moment. So instead of doing that, instead of like holding the microphone out, I'll just like yell the city name,
Yeah.
and they cheer, and that's like way better than just be like, on that part where I'm like, oh, and I'm holding out the microphone and it's just crickets, and I'm just like, what? It was an answer.
Embarrassing moment.
Backtracks for you, probably.
The backtrack. But that was like a whole band thing.
Yeah, we all.
But for me, it would be like my wireless kept cutting in and out in Dallas, so I kept like playing towards like the other side of the stage where everyone else is at, and they were looking at me like, "What are you doing here? Go back to like."
Come back to your
Go
side
back to your side of the stage, and I was like, "My wireless is not working." It's just like it sucked. It sucked so hard, but I just did it regardless. I just sold it, and yeah, even at Come and Take It on the Attila tour, I couldn't move like 3 feet in front of the rack without my wireless cutting in and out. So I had to stand in front of the rack like 1 foot away and just stand there the entire time if I wanted to play, because it just kept cutting in and out.
Wow.
So that was after that we just wired everything and just like, but yeah, that was an embarrassing moment. It was just like, I can't believe this is happening. You know?
I don't think I was embarrassed, but in Dallas, a lady tried to pull me in the crowd, and like I had the microphone up to my face, and like I was like shaking hands to people, and like I shook her hand, and I could tell like she was gonna grab me, so I like tried to pull my hand away quick, and she like grabbed me and pulled me, and I remember being like, "Bitch!" Like, and, like I had the microphone right up to my face and set it over the intercom. Hey man, don't do that. Don't do that, because one, it's creepy, and two, you could seriously injure me.
Yeah.
Like if
you,
nobody
like,
catches
fell.
me and like I fall on my face, like that's on you now. You just hurt me. I hope you feel good about yourself. But yeah, I think that wasn't embarrassing. That was just like a time when I was like, "The fuck," you know. Have you ever had someone try to pull you in the crowd before?
No, thank God, no.
That was weird for me. Like I didn't like. It was like our third show on the tour, and like we're like the no-name band on the ticket, and like I tried, like I was not expecting anyone to try to pull me into the crowd, and that caught me off guard enough to say "bitch" over the microphone. I wanted her to know that I was serious. I don't just go around saying that to everyone, okay? I just wanted her to know that I was serious, and like there was so much that went through my head at once that was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then, like it just came out. I was like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" Like,
You're like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be singing.
yeah, that was. I think it was in the middle of dial tone too, and like you just hear me like, "I wanna hear the way, bitch, what the fuck?"
He's
I was
ad
like,
libbing right now. He's just ad libbing. It's all part of the show, right?
yeah, that was that. It scared me though. So it like scared me and jarred me all at once, and I didn't know how else to react. So the only reaction I knew was to yank it back and call her a profanity. I think she got the point though, because she did not talk to us. She didn't come up to the merch booth or anything.
Oh. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, don't yank singers off stages. That's not good.
Like if you walked up to someone in a line and tried to yank them out of the line, they'd be like, "The fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, this is true.
Treat us like normal people. Like if you wouldn't do it in a normal setting, you probably shouldn't do it in like the band setting either.
Yeah, this is true. That means don't send penises in DMs either.
Oh, for the love of God! Hey, your dick's not special.
It's not.
It looks much like all the other dicks.
And just pretend like you're trying to have anal. It's not that big. Trust me.
Not that
it's
big.
just not. It's not.
And if you're sending pictures of your flaccid penis, just what's wrong with you? Just looks like a dead bird.
Dead bird. A dead featherless bird.
Yeah,
what
it's
kind
like
of penis have you seen?
It's like a dead mole rat just hanging out of your pants. It's not attractive. If she doesn't ask for it, don't send it, bro. I don't understand how that's like hard. You literally have to do less. You just do less.
Just do less.
If she doesn't ask it, don't send it. It's fine. Just enjoy the ones that she sends you and be happy with that. You don't have to do anything.
All right. And then for our final question before we wrap things up, if you could give advice to someone who is an aspiring artist or musician, like what would you want to tell them?
Oh man, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so loaded because
There's
there's
so much. There's
I-
just so much
well,
that goes into it.
I want to pass on the knowledge that I have learned that in places that I was wrong coming out. So like I think one of the biggest questions you need to ask yourself is, what do you want to do? And I mean that by like, do you just want to play music, or do you want to make a living playing music? And like we touched on this before, there's a lot that goes into that. If you just want to play music, bro, go buy your guitar and start a band and play music at local shows. There's nothing wrong with that if you love doing that and that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I commend you. You know, your love for the music keeps the local scene alive, keeps people going to shows, and you get to go back home to your family and stuff. You know, you're still contributing to society in various ways. So do that if that's what you want to do. If you want to make money doing this, you're going to have to adapt and change a lot. And you're going to have to throw out shit that you fell in love with, that, you know, you're married to. You're going to have to be willing to let go of like your iron grip on everything. Because not everybody's Ed Sheeran. You know, not everybody can write every single song that they do and be the guy who does everything. So you have to be willing to work with other people, which is part of adapting. You have to be coachable. You have to listen. Yes, you love 2015 August Burns Red, but figure out a way to do that in a way that people listen to it in 2023. The biggest thing is like staying modern, and that's like the hard part. The biggest thing is staying modern and staying relevant. Getting on social media. Get out of your own fucking way. It's there to help you. It is a tool. Use it. That was the most recent one that I figured out. It's like TikTok. You don't have to do the TikToks that you hate. You know, the ones where they're dancing in front of their phone, you know, doing all this. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
There are other ways to reach your audience.
That's not even remotely in anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
You're basing it.
That was so last week.
So last week.
You're basing it off of
some.
something that you saw once and it was distasteful to you, and you think that that's what you have to do, but not at all.
Yeah, there's millions
Not at
of
all.
things you can do.
Learn.
But
Go home, sit down, and learn. Look up Bandcamp. There's a guy named Todd McCarty that wrote something called Bandcamp.
it's Band Builder.
Band Builder Academy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's no longer Bandcamp. That's what
No,
it is.
it's always been Band Builder.
What was it? Well, I thought it was Bandcamp. Anyways, Band Builder Academy, made by Todd McCarty. Go watch all his videos, read all of the literature that he wrote on it. The guy's a genius. We followed since 2018 or 19.
2018.
It's only been since 2018 that Catch Your Breath has followed what this guy taught. And it took us from nobody in 2018, we weren't even playing shows, to now in 2022, we actually signed with a label and went on a tour. We have endorsements. Like, it's actually happening for us. And that's the part of like, be coachable. You don't know all the answers. You can't possibly know all the answers. There's so much shit to this, dude. Like, before you get into it, that you don't know about before getting into it, that it's impossible to throw yourself in it and expect that you're going to know everything. You're not. You're not. You are not Michael Jackson. You're not Ed Sheeran. Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson. Ed Sheeran is Ed Sheeran. Those people come, you know, not very often. And there's like one or two or three. Even right now, there's probably like, you could probably count on one hand how many people write their own music and produce it themselves.
Yeah.
You probably count on one hand. It doesn't happen. Find a team, put a team together, be coached by that team, be willing to adapt and change with the times. And I promise you that good things will happen. You have to do the small things. Now, for us, we've been fortunate, and it doesn't happen like that on a normal basis, that we were able to skip a few small steps along the way. But we figured out now that we've been signed to a label, we don't get to skip those steps. We jumped, and now we have to go back and pick up all the small shit that we missed along the way to make us a complete band. And I think we are a really good band right now. We put out great music. We put on good shows. We do the things we're supposed to do, but we're not there yet because we haven't cut our teeth like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And so even if you do skip steps, you're not going to get to skip them. Eventually, you have to go back to them and polish everything, because that's what puts you on top. It's not being so stubborn with your music that if a producer comes in with a better riff idea than you had yesterday, that you're just so pissed off you won't talk to anybody the rest of the day because your riff was changed. Mm-hmm. You know, grow up. Some people just know more than you. And it's okay, because you just learned something from that session. Ask them why your riff didn't work. Be coachable. You know, they'll tell you, oh, well, you know, you went to this diminished note right here, and that really fucks up like the note flow of the song, or, you know, like the cadence or whatever. It fucks something up in the song, and you can't do that. And we have had people that literally have quit the band
because they were like, oh, well, if I can't have creative freedom, then I don't want to be part of it. And it's like, you wrote the entire song up to this one riff, and you're mad about that one riff and the entire song that you just passed getting changed. I mean, then leave, you know?
Yeah.
You're not gonna make us change our mind. And we have worked with our team long enough and hard enough and put in enough hours with these guys that we trust them
Yeah.
to just run with things sometimes and just do it. You know, when I was like transitioning from like a metalcore vocalist to like Shame on Me and Dial Tone, you think I went in the booth and was like, all this is coming naturally?
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was new, and it was scary, and it was something challenging for me. And when we put out Shame on Me, I got my answer. I got my reward for adapting and changing and doing something new and being coachable and being willing to do something that I wasn't exactly comfortable with at first. But when I saw the product at the end of it, I was like, you guys are completely right. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes it's all about trusting the process, and
Mm-hmm.
you just got to do the work and then trust that your guy knows what he's talking about. Because there have been times where I've been in the booth and I'm looking out of the booth and they're all like, holy shit, you know, like moving back, having a good time. And I'm standing there and they're like, this isn't technically something that I would listen to. And then I get out of the booth, the song is done, they play the whole song, and I'm like, this is fucking great. You know, I have no idea what I was talking about. Chester Bennington is a big example of that, because he didn't think that in the end was going to be the single on, was it Hybrid Theory? Or Hybrid Theory.
Yeah.
He thought in the end was like one of the worst songs on that whole album. And then like the whole band was like, no, dude, this is the single. You have no idea what you're talking about. And Chester like fought him tooth and nail, and they released it as a single. And Chester saw the feedback and was like, that's the time that I realized I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you just don't. You think you do. You're really talented. You've got all the talent in the world. You can write songs, but sometimes you're still fucking wrong, you know?
Yeah.
You can be great and still be wrong. It's the guys that are successful, they understand where they were wrong. They ask questions and they're okay with being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guys that we work, like Chris and Attila, we work with him. The guy's been in Attila for 15 years and he'll play a riff for us and we'll be like, no, we don't really like that. And he's like, okay. Boop, gone. Next idea. He's been doing it for 15 years. Who the fuck are we to tell him he just wrote a dumb riff? You know, like, but he's like, he's about the band. So he's like, okay, if you guys are having problems like working this riff out, I'll help you guys work it out. And he'll hash it out with us until we're like, that's the riff. It doesn't sound like anything that Chris from Attila would ever play, but it's like perfect for us.
Yeah.
And he's okay with that. And that's being a musician.
Yeah.
That is being a modern musician nowadays. And if it takes a little bit of the integrity out to know that we have a team that helps us in spots that we get stuck, then don't get in this business.
Yeah.
Literally don't get in this business. It's the wrong industry for you. If you're afraid of rejection, if you're afraid of change, and if you're afraid of being told that you're wrong, don't do this. Don't do it, because it's not for you. You got a thick skin doing this shit.
Oh yeah. That is the truth.
Because there's just like bad vocal days. Like, for example, you'll step in the booth sometimes when you're in the studio and it's just like sharp all day.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to be in the booth, you know? You've had those days where you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you fucking woke up and you're like, God damn it, another day in this fucking booth. Like, and then you show up, you know, you woke up not feeling it. You get in the booth not feeling it. They press record and they hear it. And there's nothing worse than stopping an hour into recording and them being like, are you okay? You know, like, you need to like take a break, and you're like, okay, you go take your 5 and you come back and you think you've tracked like a couple verses and part of the chorus, and then you sing again after calming down and they're like, oh, we got to scratch everything you did before because you sound so much better now because you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those are hard days and those happen.
Yeah,
you got to be able to push through those.
Yep, that's happened to me a couple of times. And like my producers figured out too. It's like you said, knowing your team, they know you, they know your music, they know. And so it's he's learned that about my voice, you know, like certain things. He's like, oh yeah, your voice sounds better later in the afternoon and nighttime than it does in the morning. We're going to start vocal sessions later, or else we're going to end up retracking. everything. And then we usually do we do choruses first instead of verses.
Usually we try to do it like that, yeah.
Because my voice is so like powerful. It's like trying to hold back like a racehorse or a Ferrari. It's just, it doesn't want to go 5 miles an hour. It wants to go 95 miles an hour. And so he's like, no, we need to get that out so that I can control it. And then
it kind of gets you in the zone. You know,
Yeah.
there's steps to doing it. You wake up in the morning, you do your routine. But that just kind of gets you in the mood to like go to the studio. And then you get to the studio. This is on days like you're particularly not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the studio and you're just waiting for them to like finish up their like production and stuff, and their little mixing before, you know, you start, and you're just dreading them, like turning around in that chair and being like, all right,
vocals
ready? And you're just like, son of a fucking bitch. Like, all right, here we go. You go in there and you sing, and it's just not right. It's just not right. You know, you're not feeling it. Your pitch is off. Your timing's off because now you're thinking about your pitch and shit. You take your break and come back and got to redo all of that shit. And it's like really frustrating, but then you get to the end of it and you're done and they play the whole song and you're like, damn, I'm in a good mood now. It kind of changes everything.
It does. And it's like, and then you learn so much too, because about yourself, like, you know, like you said, you have your bad vocal days. Like, you got studio time. We record in California. That's where our producer is. And so we fly out there and we're out there for like a week, 2 weeks, however long to record. We usually do like 3 or 4 tracks at a time. Because we can't afford to live in California for like 2 months, as much as I'd love to.
Fuck that.
No. So, and the last 3 songs on our record that we did, or was it 4? I don't even remember. It's all blur. But I got a really bad sinus infection because it was just like the change in the climate. Because we usually go out in January or February because those are usually really slow, like touring months and whatever. So we take off.
Smog,
And so we left here and it's like cold. We go out there and it's like warm and sunny and everything. And my sinuses, whenever I get a really bad sinus infection, it just takes my voice out.
Yeah.
Blows my ENT's mind. He has no idea why. He'll always be like, I can't tell you why. Your vocal cords look fine. They're not even inflamed. They're not red. They're not nothing.
Just the mucus.
He's just whatever it is. It's just your sinuses. He's like, so yeah, you can sing through it. It's fine. You don't have laryngitis. It's nothing gonna mess up your voice. It's like, you just got to get this out of the way. Well, normally before I go anywhere where I'm going to be traveling, like on a tour or whatever, I will see my ENT before, and sometimes he'll give me like a prescription steroid to take on the road just in case. And he did, but I forgot it at home, and I'm out there without it. I'm like, fuck. So I'm out there and I'm like, well, we're going to be here 2 weeks. By the end of the 2 weeks, right, I should be fine.
Oh no.
Nope. So we're in the studio and we're at dinner after they finished tracking all the guitars and everything. And he's like, okay, we're going to start on vocals tomorrow. He's like, can you sing? I'm like, I guess we'll find out. I went to Walgreens. I literally bought like everything. Right? Like everything. Took everything. Everything. OD'd on allergy, everything. I was like, okay, we're going to do Mucinex, we're going to do Allegra, we're going to do Zyrtec, we're going to do all the shit. We're going to do 2 shots of Flonase, and then we're going to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I wake up and I do a steam shower. And this is what I do normally anyway, like when I have like a lot of vocals to do, my big thing is I'll do a steam shower and I put eucalyptus in it.
Yeah.
I put some eucalyptus oils in it and it's just like, ah. So it's great. But it starts to wear off after like, an hour or 2 or a couple hours, whatever. So I go in there and I'm like, okay, I can breathe. And then I do my round of like allergy meds again. And then I do some Flonase, and then I take my Zicam, which I don't like doing by Zicam.
You're high as shit when you get on stage.
So I go into the studio and I'm like, okay guys, let's hurry before this stuff starts wearing off.
We got an hour.
And he's like, oh shit. He's like, okay. And so I'm getting in there and I'm singing and, you get into it and everything, but I just hate it because it's like stuff that would normally be so easy for me. I'm actually have to like think about it, right? And then the more you think about it, the more you fuck it up because you're thinking about it. And it's like this like vicious cycle in your mind and it's like, ah. And one of the songs, I have a very high vocal range, and so I tend to write like all over the place. I don't really pay attention to what key I'm in. I mean, we play songs like 3 or 4 different tunings, and it was set in like towards the higher end of like my chest, like my belty voice.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, I'm really struggling to hit like some of this stuff. And so he's like, I want to try something different. He's like, instead of doing like your normal belty, like power vocal, like you do all the time, he's like, let's do something different. And so I'm like, and like you said, like, you can't be married to this thing, right? You gotta kind of let it go. He's like, because I just really feel like this song could be so much more.
Yeah.
If we try some things out. He goes, and it'll actually be easier for you to sing. And so I'm like, but I can sing it. Don't tell me that. He's like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, just trust me.
Yeah.
And so we start doing like these really cool like vocal layerings, and he throws like some synth in there. And this song is like, it went from being one of those, it made it on the album, but it was kind of one of those, oh, we wanted a 10th song, but it's like, it was the best, the strongest out of what we had left out of what we wrote, right? But I was just like, oh, it's a good song. I like it. But it wasn't like, oh, yeah, this definitely, like, it's going on the album, right?
This is the single.
This is the single, right? It turned into like one of my favorite songs.
Yep.
After this whole process, it was just like, and then it was one of those like, if we have to shorten a set, we'll probably never play it on stage, and it's fine because there's just like so much to it. And now we play it on stage every fucking show because every time we try and toss it out, I'm like, but we can't because, and it's stupid because the way that we wrote it, or the way Chris did the guitars, is where they're playing in standard for the whole song, and then he has to go to drop D in the bridge to just make it more like, you know, more grr.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I gotta figure out a way to tune in the middle of the fucking song, because he's like, I gotta go to literally like in that, I gotta go from standard to drop D, and then I gotta go back.
Yeah.
And so he bought like this really cool pedal, and like he programmed it. I don't know,
an octave pedal.
Yeah, Voodoo is expensive, ridiculous pedal thing, and
but you can do it with a quad cortex too.
Yeah, he has. That's what he has, quad cortex. Yeah. So he bought one of those.
Shit.
And he like figured out, you know, how to run it, and then it actually simplified our tour because then he figured out he could just run the bass and him through it, so we didn't have to take any amps.
Yep, quad cortex is where it's at.
Yeah, so it was like crazy cool, and he's like, I got a shiny new toy. I'm like, I don't know, it's probably worth more than my house, but you know, that's how we are with our gear.
They're
but it was
expensive.
like so crazy fun, but now because it's like, oh, now we got to figure out how to play the song live now. Because it went from being one of the ones that we'll probably never play to now it's like we always play it.
I had a song like that we just got done recording where like the instrumental that we got, it sounded like straight, almost pop punk.
Yeah.
And if you know me, I don't do pop punk. And I remember Curtis just being like, bro, just trust me. This is going to be a great fucking song.
Yeah.
And worked on it a little bit, and we got the first verse and chorus done, and by the time we were done with that, I was like, this is a fucking great song. I don't know what I was talking about. Because like, yeah, it sounds one way before you sing on it.
Yep.
And then you sing on it. And then it takes like a whole new life. And like, yeah, it sounded like pop punk before I sang on it, and then after I sang on it, it sounded like Catch Your Breath.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, another lesson in like, just trust the process. If these guys bring me something, I know it's good.
Yeah.
Like, so build a team, build a good team.
Yeah, exactly. And plus,
build a
like,
good team.
especially in the studio, it's like you hear all the things, right, that make the music. That's why it's not electronic.
Yeah.
But you hear all the imperfections, all the inflections, all the things, and it's like, you know, I love, but I hate going into the studio because if it were up to me, if I were an Ed Sheeran, I'd be in there. I'd probably never leave.
Yeah.
I'd be redoing vocals every day until infinitum because it would just
how do you
never
win the
be
song?
happy. It's like, oh, wait, no, I can do it better. I can do it. It's like, oh my god, just get out of there already. And so it's like, you know, I just every time when they're like, okay, I think it's done. How do you feel about it? I'm like, you know what? I trust you. If you say it's good, if you say we got it, I'm good.
Yeah, that was like the last 3 days of our sessions. I was just like so vocaled out because like Like the second, usually like the last session that your labels, usually the last session that your label sends you on is like the cram section of like, get as much as you can, as good as it can be, and just send it to us.
Mhm.
So like the last week was just fucking vocals. And by like the last 3 days, I was like a husk of myself, just like sitting on the couch, just like, Josh, you got any more lyrics in you? Just like, I'm lyriced out, I can't do it anymore. I don't know what to say anymore, I'm done. And like they had to like cattle prod me in the fucking vocal booth the last day to finish up our last song. It was so bad. I procrastinated those last 3 days so hard. And I remember like we'd get like a fucking verse done. And Curtis was so done too that like we'd get the verse done. He's like, man, we worked so hard today, boys. That's a wrap. Because we had like one song to do and we had like 3 days to do it. And we just did not want to do it because you just studioed out.
Yeah.
You know, we were in the studio a month and then left for 2 weeks and then came back for another 2 weeks. So we were just like fucking studioed out. We just want to get prepared for the tour and go on tour. That's like what we're looking forward to. And then like we got like the extra studio dates thrown on, so we were like, fuck it, let's go do these songs. And like we got a whole bunch of like we've got a radio performance coming up that was like thrown on before it, and then like that's in the middle of our rehearsals, so it's like we're having to plan around that. This interview worked out really great because we just finished up most of our busy work back at home. He's just got to go back home and like do a few like software things, and we're ready to go.
It's gonna take a long time.
But yeah, it's not like
before,
like blue collar hard nose work. It's a lot of like waiting.
Yeah, it's a lot of just small
putting stuff in the computer, waiting for it to fucking switch over. It's fucking. It's just a lot of monotonous work that we have left, and then we got the radio performance that we're doing in Austin, and then after that, I think we got rehearsals in between then, and then I'm going home for a week, and then we got the first tour. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me at Late Nights with Kraevin. Why don't you go ahead and give everybody your social media links so they know how to find you?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Catch Your Breath Band, and on a TikTok is at Catch Your Breath TX, and on Spotify Catch Your Breath, and Twitter is at CYBTX.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. And
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you next week at 8:00 on YouTube. And you'll see Catch Your Breath on tour.
We'll see you guys out there. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, guys. And thanks for watching.